game to clinch that game, and also after beating Tennessee State, Jacksonville State clinched the OVC title for the 5th time in a row.
Yeah, well, Jacksonville State is the king of this castle. They own the OVC, and so therefore, congratulations to the Gamecock again for another OVC championship.
Fans, we're here at Tennessee State University for this game, and we'll be back in a moment. You're listening to ESPN+. It's a beautiful day, a stark contrast to the bitterly cold day we experienced last week.
Yes, it's about 30 degrees warmer this this Saturday in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was very cold. And, that really hampered the play of the Tigers. But nevertheless, it's perfect weather, and it's a great day for the seniors to go out on a good note.
All right, well, quickly, what are the keys to this game as both teams are struggling not to have any more losses on their record?
Yeah, if you look at the stats from the season, both teams are giving up 29 points a game, are scoring 29 points a game on offense. So the keys to the game is that the defense has got to get off the field because both defenses are giving over plus 30 up per game. So whoever can not stop the run and the pass and keep the other from scoring. If we have a shootout, it looks like we're going to have a shootout. And if whatever defense can come out and control the line of scrimmage looks like would be the key to the game.
All right, well, we're about to kick this game off as Ryan Courtwright is on the field getting ready to kick off for the Skyhawks, and back to receive are Johnson and Newbold. So it's good to see Newbold still healthy, and either one of them can break it at any time.
Yeah, matter of fact, last week Jacksonville State chose not to kick deep. They pooch kicked the whole game. They stay away from the dangerous returners for the Tigers.
Well, it's going to go out of bounds. So the first kick by Courtwright goes out of bounds, and the ball will be placed on the 35-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Tennessee State. Now, interesting thing is taking place. Hughes had an injury, and we were wondering if he was even going to be on the field today, and it appears that he is not going to start. So we're going to have to watch this as Cameron Rosenthal, Cameron Rosenthal is taking the field as the starting quarterback, and Rosenthal hasn't seen a lot of action, but he can throw that football.
Well, Cameron was a guy that was a player from Georgia Military College that had pretty much ended his career. He had 2 major injuries and kind of gave up on football, but there he is making his first start the last game of the season for the Tigers.
All right, well, the Tigers moved the ball 5 yards on the first play of this game, and they do it on the ground.
Yep, that was to Kendrick Roberson, who had a monster game last week and the week before for the Tigers on a 5-yard gain.
All right, it's going to be 2nd down, 5 yards to go. There's a pass out to Rowland, and he's corralled and run out of bounds after about a 2-yard gain. Wow, they're going to – okay. 2-yard line.
Yeah, Tigers coming out with RPOs, one to inside handoff and one quick throw out to the flat. Keep making it a 3rd and manageable.
I was more on the tackle for the Skyhawks. A big 3rd down, 3 yards to go. Robertson racked up short of the 1st down. Tough defensive effort. That was Garrett Wall, 6 feet, 235 pounds, outside linebacker. So it's going to be 4th down and 1 yard, and the Tigers will be punting.
Yeah, that's one thing you're going to hear a lot of about the Skyhawks is their linebackers are the strength of their defense. They play an odd man front with a nose tackle, and their 2 linebackers in the middle of the field are known.
Kick that came down just inside the 20-yard line, and it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Skyhawks at their own 19.
Yeah, it's interesting to see who comes out for quarterback for the Skyhawks. They have several listed. It looks like it's going to be number 13, Joe Hudson, the redshirt junior from San Diego, California, behind center.
All right. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but Joe Hudson had an injury, but it appears that he is back on the field. They say he's a tough guy and can hurt you on the ground. There's a handoff up the middle. Tigers play it tough and pick up a yard on the play.
Yeah, the key to the game, controlling the line of scrimmage, is very key for both defenses. UT Martin was able to get off the field with 3 and out. The Tigers start off stiff with a short game.
I couldn't catch the number.
Yeah, that was Galloway.
Galloway.
Their big-time running back from Mississippi.
Hand off to Galloway again, trying the right side of the line. Pick up another maybe 2 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, both teams are trying to fill one another out while running some inside zone and some RPOs. It's going to be a matter of time before somebody goes deep.
All right, Galloway on the run, 2 runs for about 6 yards. 4 yards, I mean. There's a pass, and it's going to be a 1st down. Hard lick by Will.
Simple play. Tigers were playing zone defense there, and they just let the back come out and clear a little circle route. And Hudson found him on the curl and quick throw, 7 yards for a 1st down.
There's a handoff. They continue to try the middle of that line, and it appears that Tigers are not going to give in. There's an injury on the field. Looks like one of the linemen, number 75, Terry Fultz, 6'6", 315 pounds, redshirt junior out of Memphis, Tennessee. And he's down the field, and they're tending to him.
Yeah, that was pressure off the edge from the Tigers from their free safety or strong safety.
And we're going to stay with you as it appears that he's coming off the field under his own power, which is a great thing. Terry Fultz, and he's a big part in many ways of that offensive line, 6'6", 315 pounds. That's pretty much speaks volumes, just the size. And they're a big team.
Yeah, and they're a team that they have a lot of kids from Memphis, as you see on their roster, and they have a lot of kids from Tennessee, which they're being in West Tennessee. But what also stands out about their roster is a lot of kids from Mississippi. And Howard, you know how I feel about Mississippi. And so, nevertheless, Jason Simpson, Coach Jason Simpson, who's in his 13th year with the Skyhawks, also is from Mississippi. So he's gone back home and gotten a lot of talent from that part of the country.
Yep, Derek Fleming was born in Mississippi, and it's okay to love your state, but we've adopted you here in Tennessee. You've been here.
Less, the things that we talked about earlier, Howard, is kind of, both teams are filling each other out, trying to control the line of scrimmage with the run game. Both defenses are being aggressive, putting extra men in the box, trying to shut down the run game. It's just a matter of time before we start seeing both quarterbacks who have great arms, Hudson, who can throw the ball well out of San Diego, California. And then let's talk a little bit about Cameron Rosendahl. I started his story. I mean, he was a guy that was at Georgia Military College, had a great career there, had 2 major injuries, was pretty much done with football, had an opportunity to come to Tennessee State, and this is his first start of the year. He had a great camp and competed very well, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does today.
All right, well, a loss of a yard on the play, and we had a media timeout. Of course, we had an injury timeout also, and so Joe Hudson is the quarterback for the who for 1,600 yards and 12 touchdowns this season. Tigers jump, get back. And a great run. Galloway took it out of the – matter of fact, he took the snap and picked up the first down.
Yeah, that was a beautiful counterplay by the Skyhawks. Like I said, both teams are feeling their way out on the line of scrimmage, and that time they ran a counterplay and pulled a backside guard and kicked out. And Galloway, who's very dangerous, found the crease and had a very positive run on first down. Is that a first down?
It is first. Well, it appears that he might have stepped out of bounds.
They're doing a very slow. Okay,
no,
it's short.
Yeah. Okay.
It's short.
It is short. It's going to be 3rd down and 2. A pickup of 8 on the play. Galloway with 510 yards on the season and 5 touchdowns. There's Galloway again, and he's racked up in the backfield. Good job by the interior of TSU.
Yeah, right there you saw penetration up the middle by number 90, Khalil Jones, who was in the backfield pretty quick. That caused the running back to kind of hesitate, and that's what you want on short yardage downs, is for him to be redirected, and the rest of the Tigers came. That's a big stop for the Tigers.
Zane Cox in the punt. Gets off a high kick. Well, the Tigers will take it 1st and 10 from the 22. And you're right, it's just been a few jabs and a few punches here and there and really no knockouts. And both teams just trying to get their offense untracked, as Tennessee State has not really had trouble moving the ball. They just have had trouble scoring.
Yeah,
turnovers.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, the Tigers have really had a lot of self-inflicted wounds this year. So you understand them being very conservative at the beginning of the game. Like I said, you can throw the record out with these two teams because they're so familiar with one another. Both coaches have been around OVC for a while, Coach Reed being in his 9th year, and Coach Jason Simpson being in his 13th year. So they're very familiar with one another. So there's not much that the other hadn't seen from one another. So you're going to see this slow, grinding approach from the beginning of the game, but I don't think this game is going to stay this slow. I think you're going to see some points put on the board.
Well, as we look at the Big Blue Tigers, Rosenthal, 6'2", 210 pounds, redshirt junior transfer. And, you know, as we look at him, there's not a whole lot. He hasn't had a lot of game time experience with TSU. But what we do know is he can throw that football.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time watching him in camp this year because I follow a little bit during the summertime, and he has a good ball. He throws a great ball, and he understands the offense. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with his opportunity for this game. I mean, this is going to catapult him to next year and get some momentum going for him and the Tigers' offense. So let's see what he can what kind of points he can put on the board today.
All right, well, Rosenthal in the game, 1st and 10. Tigers have it at their own 22-yard line. Last game of the season for both teams. And your last game's always an important game. It sets the tone for the next season to come. Have 2 backs in the backfield now. And run out of bounds. Robeson, he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, might have gotten a yard, but great defensive effort by UT Martin.
Yeah, that time the Skyhawks dropped 8 into coverage. I mean, that's their defense. I mean, they run an odd front, 3-man front, and they drop all 8 into coverage. That was a smart play by Rosenthal to just take what the defense gave him and not make a bad play.
Again, as the Skyhawks, Tigers try the middle of that line. Garrett Wall on the stop. We've been calling his name a lot early in this ball game. Pickup of a yard on the play. 3rd and 7. 3rd and 8, really, for the Big Blue Tigers.
Yeah, the strength of the Skyhawks defense is the linebackers, number 35, Kevin Prather Jr. and also James Galen. Those two, number 50 and number 35, and, of course, number 4, we've called his name several times, Wall, are really doing a do in the middle of the field.
Tigers did a great job of picking up that blitz, but ball was thrown behind Rowland, and he just couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, that was lucky that wasn't a bad play there because that ball was thrown behind him late in the middle of the field, and that's a no-no as a quarterback. You can't make that throw.
One leading receivers and returners for the Skyhawks, Williams, standing back around his 38. Ball takes a good roll for the Big Blue. And it's going to be down around 33-yard line. So neither team has been able to put points on the board. Really, neither team's been able to manage too much, as to this point, the Skyhawks have 1 first down and really 2 first downs, and Tigers, none.
Yeah, well, both teams' offenses have backup quarterbacks in. I mean, so, Dresser Wynn was the starter for the Seahawks for the majority of the season. He's not playing today. And, of course, Michael Hughes is not playing for the Tigers today, and also Demery Croft, who's lost for the season.
Joe Hudson at quarterback.
Yeah, that's one of the players to watch. That's Jamie Bowie, number 5. So they have a 2-headed monster back there for the Skyhawks. All
right, he got 2 yards on the play, and he can break it at any time. There's a pass, and that was a mix-up between the quarterback and receiver. Pass was he was looking for his receiver to turn outside. He turned inside, and that was Rodney Williams, 6'4", 210, wide receiver, big guy.
Yeah, that time he misread the coverage because the Tigers had underneath help with Sellers, and if that ball was thrown accurately, that could have been a pick 6. So that was lucky. That was a bad throw. 3rd down for the Skyhawks.
Sometimes it is lucky. Hudson at quarterback. Taking his time, looking over the defense. Back to pass. Got some time. He throws, and it's incomplete. Broken up by Wilhoit. Great defensive effort by the Big Blue.
Yeah, that was a great series for the Tigers defense. That's a 3-and-out. That pass was intended for Jalen Moore, one of their taller receivers from Memphis, Tennessee, on the play, and Wilhoit sat on it and broke on it for a pass breakup. That's a great play. The 4th down Tigers.
All right. Whoa. That's going to be a penalty there. And it could possibly give them a first down.
Yeah.
Personal foul is going to be running to the kicker. It's going to be a first down for the Skyhawks.
Well, you can't fault Vincent Sellers on that play. I mean, he had a beeline on that ball, and I don't know how he missed it. Nevertheless, he did have a little contact from the UT Martin defender, so he was interested to see which call would be made, whether he was blocked into him or not. They called the roughing the passer on that play, so that's an automatic first down, and the Skyhawks are back on offense.
Well, sometimes they look and to see if you run into that grounded foot, and that's where most injuries can happen. And that was the decision they made, which puts the Skyhawks for the first time in Tennessee State territory. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Skyhawks at the TSU 49. Wide outs to either side. And that time, Hudson faked it to Terry Williams, and Williams continued to roll out into the flats, but that was just that play never materialized.
Yeah, Terry Williams is the playmaker that has the leading catcher for the Skyhawks. They were trying to get him into the flat, just an errant throw.
2nd and 10 for the Skyhawks. He keeps clapping his hands. The ball's not coming, and that's not Hudson.
Yeah, that was a little wildcat there, Howard.
Wildcat.
They went a little wildcat.
That was Galloway.
Yeah, so they motioned Hudson out and ran a little wildcat, try to run that counter play that they had success with earlier. And the true freshman out of Cambridge High School, Jay Sean Bryant, had none of that on the play.
All right, coming off the field with an injury is number 25, Vincent Sellers. Let's hope he's going to be okay. Hudson back pass, gets it out there, and looks like I can't see the number there.
Yeah, that was Galloway again.
That was Galloway.
Yep.
Okay.
That was Galloway, but that was great discipline on the TSU Tigers defense. I mean, you know, they came up the field and saw nobody touching them. So hold on, this has to be a screen route. Everybody peeled back and kept that play from being a big play, and that's a big 3 and out for the defense.
That was. Into punt, Zane Cox. And there was contact on the receiver, but you know what? If you don't have that hand up to fair catch, sometimes you do take a lick. I don't know what. I mean, he's sitting duck. I mean, is that?
Yeah, that
should have been a penalty.
Yeah, that's most definitely a penalty. I don't see how it's missed. That has to be kick catch interference on UT Martin. You just can't hit the punt returner with a free hit for no reason at all. I don't see how this is not called.
I can't either. And the ball, even though the ball was kicked away from him.
Yeah, I don't think that matters because as long as the receiver is trying to make an attempt to receive the ball, he is protected. And there, I just don't understand how this call is not being made.
Well, it appears they've talked about it, and I guess they're not going to call it, but they're talking to Coach Reed right now, and I can't imagine what the discussion is. I can imagine what Coach Reed is saying, but they're not going to call the penalty. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 9-yard line.
Well, it's looking for the Tigers that wasn't a turnover because I've never seen that before.
Well, I guess the problem is the ball was nowhere near. I mean, it was near the sideline, and Roland was standing inside the hash marks, and he hit him.
But he's still protected.
Right.
I mean, he's still protected. That defender doesn't know where that ball is, and he doesn't become just a crash dummy because he didn't catch the ball. He has protection there.
Roberson loses the ball. He had picked up enough yards for the first down. It looked like UT Martin, Antonio Clifton was on the ball, but he lost it.
No, it was recovered by Knox, and that was Sean McCauley, the redshirt freshman out of Chattanooga, who fumbled that ball that time. He had a big 70-yard run last week, and that's something the freshman got to know. He has to maintain control of the football.
Well, fortunately, the Tigers came up with the fumble recovery, a 15-yard gain on the play. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Big Blue Tigers. Tigers keeping it on the ground, and UT Martin playing tough in the middle.
Yeah, that's one thing that you don't play every week is an odd front in college football. You see it a lot in pro football where there's 3 down linemen. So you really have to change your schemes, and that's a difficult thing to do during that week. So UT Martin has an advantage on that and getting some penetration in the backfield.
Joseph Murray on the tackle. They've got a 3-man front. Rosenthal back to pass and almost picked off. Devontae Mora almost picked that ball off.
Devon Johnson, the senior out of Huntsville, Alabama, is looking around like, who mugged me? I mean, they rode him the whole way down the field, and he kind of got up and looked around like, There's no flag. He couldn't get to his spot. So luckily for the Tigers, that wasn't picked off.
All right, big third down play for the Tigers, 3rd and 10. Rosenthal back to pass. He sees a lane. He's still on his feet, and they're going to mark it down at the 35, and it's going to be a first down for the Big Blue.
Well, that's a big play for the first game starter, Cameron Rosendahl. I mean, this game has to be 1,000,000 miles per hour for him. Hadn't played in a couple of years, but he just tucked it and got to the first down marker.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Big Blue. Ball on their own 35. Pass out to Johnson, and he's going to be run out of bounds. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to mark it, looks like about a yard short.
Yeah, that's a great play for number 21 for the Skyhawks. He has leverage and contain. That's Andrew Horton Martindale out of Nashville, Tennessee, this redshirt senior. He refused to give up leverage on that play and caused that play to get stretched out wide and left no room for any positive gain.
2nd and 11 for the Tigers. That's McCauley again. He held onto that ball that time. Picked up about 5 yards on the run. 4 yards on the run. It's going to be 3rd down, 7 yards to go for the Big Blue.
Yeah, it's interesting that the Tigers continue to try to run interior zones with they have their backup senior and their center in their Jelks, with Burden being gone for the season, and also Anthony Jeter not playing today.
That was a big play by UT Martin. Crutchfield making the grab on the quarterback, Rosenthal, causing him to throw the ball errantly to the ground.
Well,
should an errant ball be in the air or on the ground?
Well,
right. Okay, I guess he threw it to the ground.
Right. Yeah. Well, he didn't make the mistake, so I guess the Tigers will take that.
All right, Mosley with the high kick. It takes a TSU bounce, but Williams is going to grab it and go. And they're going to mark him down close to the 35-yard line. Jeff's coming off the field talking with the official. I don't know what happened. He had his helmet off, but doesn't seem to be a problem.
Yeah, well, number 47 is pretty much the wedge buster on that punt. He's going back and putting pressure on the punter, Austin Pickett, the junior from Lake Menlo, Florida. And him and Jelks has had a major collision in the backfield.
Oh, okay.
And that's what caused his helmet to come off. Of course, so he was smart to just let the referee know that he kept it in play.
All right, a big gust of wind just came through, and everything hit the floor. All right, fans, we're going to take a break with no score. You're listening to ESPN Plus.
Jim has had a rough life. His third wife ran off with his second.
University here in Nashville, Tennessee, to a scoreless first quarter. I'm Howard Gentry along with Derek Fleming, and we're bringing you the final game of the season for both of these teams.
Yes, this is for the Sergeant York Trophy. If the Tigers win today, they have a 3-way tie, but the trophy stays in Clarksville with the Austin Peay Governors, but nobody wants to come in last.
But if UT Martin wins, they get to take it home.
And there it goes.
Yep. Wilhart on the tackle, and on the reception, Jalen Moore. Wilhart's given up about 2 or 3 inches. Jalen Moore is 6'2".
Yeah, they're starting to try to isolate Will Hoyt, who's the least experienced cornerback they have on the field right now for the Tigers. It's going to be interesting to see if they continue to do that.
And that time was just underthrown. Joe Hudson couldn't get that ball out there. It was intended for the other Williams, the taller Williams, number 81, 6'4". And so the Williams guys are definitely something to deal with and contend with on this team. It's going to be third down, 7 yards to go. Joe Hudson calling signals. Everybody's set. He's got a receiver. He picks up the first down and more. Wow. Run after catch is important.
Yeah, that play, the Skyhawks kind of read that the Tigers were in a zone defense and kind of just flared the running back out of the backfield. Easy catch and throw for a first down.
1st and 10 from the 49. Peyton Logan, the running back, 5'8", 180 pounds.
Yeah, we talked about keys to the game, controlling the line of scrimmage. Both defenses have done so. They were both averaging plus 30 yards per game, and right now we have no score.
3 wide outs to the left, 2 defenders to the left, and nobody seems concerned. Am I missing something?
Yeah, well, I believe the Tigers got away with a misalignment.
Wow.
But I best believe that UT Martin coaches in the box will see that. They ran away from that trips. Let's keep an eye on that, Howard.
All right, Peyton Logan on the carry, pickup of a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 9. One back in the backfield. Hudson with the high snap. He's got time. He throws and is short of the first down. It is complete. On the reception, Devontae Howard. They're going to mark it. Wow. They gave him a good mark. It's still.
I mean, sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying.
I mean, he came down short of the 40-yard line, beyond the 40-yard line. I guess they're going to go for it. I guess is where he was in the air. All right, it's going to be 4th and 1. Tigers have to be careful not to jump across that line. And they're going for it. And looks like they might have it. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be close.
Well, Howard, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit here and wait for the decision to be made. Because from my view, he
didn't make it.
He didn't make it.
All right. Well, he didn't make it the last time either, but we're going to have a measurement coming in just a second. You know, football is a game of inches.
Yes, it is.
And sometimes those inches go your way. Sometimes they don't.
Correct.
And
well, we'll see.
We will see. We will see. Tigers are celebrating, and I guess they have a reason to. It's short by inches, and Tennessee State will have it 1st down and 10. And you know what? Tigers haven't had a whole lot to cheer about, especially in this game. And this is a big turnover or a big stop, and hopefully they can get the engines rolling.
Yeah, well, you know, the big thing is that, you know, the defense had to make sure that they played solid today playing their 3rd-string quarterback. And so in that sense, they've done well in the first quarter. They have not given up the big play. They've controlled the line of scrimmage. So the defense is really playing well. Now can Cameron Rosendahl get his feet up under him and make some plays?
Well, it would be nice to give him some little easy throws so he can kind of get in getting in a rhythm. So far, it's been tough.
Well, you know what I think an easy throw is?
There it is.
The bomb.
All right, that pass was complete to Andrew Knox. He's a big guy, and he just got dumped by Antonio Clifton. Clifton's 5'9", 180 pounds. And, boy, I'll tell you, of course he's from Mississippi, so I guess he's a strong guy, right? He's your homeboy. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say anything.
All right. You know, they make them strong in Mississippi. All right. It appears there's going to be a timeout.
Well, that's the end of the quarter.
Oh.
In the first quarter.
End of the first quarter, fans, and Tennessee State and UT Martin are scoreless. All right, fans.
ESPN College Game Day. Bill.
You haven't been playing. You just don't have any windows if you haven't been playing to throw the football. So there's just zoning up coverage, and he's just got to tuck it and just get some positive yardage.
All right, that's a first down for the Tigers by way of Rosenthal's feet, and it's going to be 1st and 10. That was a tough few yards on the tackle. Number 50, James Gillian from Tupelo, Mississippi. Another Mississippi player. 3 yards on the play, 2nd and 7. And a pickup of about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, that's another inside zone play. Now they've brought in a lead back. Andrew Knox is now trying to lead on that play. But the Skyhawks are very stout. As I told before, the strength of their defense are their linebackers, and they're filling holes right now.
They're tough. 3rd down, 7. Rosenthal is going to keep it again. Another first down as he slides down around the 30-yard line, and he's doing it with his feet.
Well, if you drop in coverage like that, I mean, there's going to be some lanes. They're rushing 3 and dropping 8. There's going to be some lanes for him to make some positive gains with his feet, and that's what he's doing. He's just being a game manager right now, Howard, as he tries to fill it out.
He is, and he's doing a very good job. That's his 3rd first down by way of the ground. His handoff to Roberson, and he's a little nifty there as he finally runs out of bounds. And Roberson, you know, a normal back would have been stopped behind the line of scrimmage, but he was able to just keep those feet going and keep dancing outside and picks up considerable yards. It's going to be 2nd down, 4 yards to go.
Yeah, if a team wants to drop 8, you have to run the football. So the Tigers are just taking what the Skyhawks are giving them. Smart play calling by the offensive coordinator Jeff Parker on the play, making a 3rd in management for the inexperienced 3rd-string quarterback.
In the first quarter, the Tigers ran the ball 8 times for 38 yards. UT Martin 10 for 11 yards. And UT Martin and TSU well below their stats, but being effective. There's a pass, and it's intended for Newbold. The following official calls a interference. The official that was right there on the play didn't.
What did Marshawn Lynch say? I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to get fined. But that's a pretty easy call there. But luckily for the Tigers, somebody saw it.
Maybe the trailing official had the better view of it.
Yeah, probably
yes,
so.
Yes.
Probably so.
All right. Well, it's going to be a first down for the Tigers by way of penalty. And the Tigers now inside the 20-yard line. The Tigers have dropped into the 700s in red zone effectiveness, but that's still not bad. As a tough defensive play by Devontae Mora.
Well, one thing it's hard to do is get the edge on the Skyhawks defense. They are very sound when it comes to leverage and understanding containment. So if the Tigers going to try to get outside of them, that's not going to be an easy task to do so.
All right, it's going to be second down and 11. A loss of 1 on the play. Loss of 1. Second and 11. Ball's on the 13-yard line. That's flag. Waiting for the indication. I wasn't looking. Is that a delay of game?
I have not seen any. I didn't see any signal of what that was.
No signal.
They just moved it back 5 yards.
Moved back 5 yards, so I'm going to assume that was delay of game. So it's going to be second down 16. Robertson on the carry, dropped the ball on the tackle. James Gillian, hard lick, and but Robertson was able to gather it up.
James Gillian has come to play.
He
has done so all season. He's a solid linebacker, and the Tigers are going to have to figure out a way to get him blocked because he's making all the plays in the run game. This is a 3rd and 16 inside of the 20. Points are going to be very key. Let's see what the Tigers do on 3rd down.
Gillian came in here with 70 tackles, leading the team in tackles this year.
Thing about playing a 3-man front, you cover up the center of the offense and you cover up both tackles. And what you're trying to do is control the line of scrimmage by only allowing their guards to get out and trying to get to your backers. But if you got some big guys like the UT Martin Skyhawks, I mean, sometimes you got to double team them guys. And if you have to double team one of their 3, that means the linebacker is what? Free to make the play.
Yep.
So that's what you're seeing from the Skyhawks, and that's a great design by the Skyhawks, and they're solid in the run game.
All right, 9 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first half, a scoreless first half. Both of these teams coming into the game averaging 29 points a game, and neither one has been able to get the ball across that goal line either by field goal or touchdown. And the Tigers faced with a big 3rd down and a long 15 yards to go. Now, is this 4-down territory early in this game, or do you go on with field goal if you don't make the first down?
Yeah, I think points are going to be key in this game. As you see, it's a low-scoring affair right now with no points on the board with more than 20 minutes played in this ball game. So anytime you can put some points on the board, you should try to do so. The Tigers have been pretty good on field goal. An extra point. They do have a true freshman in Anthony Zeta kicking, but this was well within his range. So, we should get positive yards here, not make a big mistake, and try to get 3 on the board.
You know, you talk about Zeta being a freshman and Mosley also a freshman, the punter. But if you look at the TSU team, only 11 seniors on this ball club. They have a a good group, a good core coming back next year. And, at this point in the season, it is time to start talking about next year.
Yeah, well, and out of those 11 seniors, 2 or 3 are transfers. So those guys wasn't 4 or 5 guys a part of the program. So the future could be bright for the Tigers.
All right, 3rd down, 15 yards to go. Rosenthal. And there's a flag on the play. Ball's knocked away. And putting the pressure on was Anthony Brown. All 6 feet 3 of him. And he knocked that ball down. There was movement prior to the snap.
Yeah, the Tigers got a gift.
Offsides defense.
Yeah, the running back to Kendrick Roberson moved very early, and they didn't see it. And the Skyhawk defender came across and gave the Tigers basically a free play on 5 yards.
All right, 3rd and 11. Roberson trying to get outside and does. And he's going for those sticks, and there's going to be a holding call on the Big Blue.
Now it's going to be interesting for the Skyhawks. Do you back them up? It look like it's going to be 4th and maybe inside of 5, or do you move them back?
Well, they're going to make that decision. It was definitely holding. Unfortunately, it was clearly holding. And big number 78 for the Big Blue kind of held on a little too long.
Raekwon Allen.
Yeah. And they're going to take the penalty.
That's an interesting call. I don't know if I'm the Skyhawks that I don't decline that and just take 4th down, because more than likely the Tigers are going to kick a field goal there. Now, I don't like giving the team another chance at the end zone. So let's see how this plays out.
All right. Well, Tigers should take advantage of having that extra play. Let's see what they do. 3 wideouts left. Rosenthal getting signals from the sideline. Changing up there. And he's going to keep the ball in the middle of the field. Gets down to around the 16-yard line. And he's setting it up very good for Zeta.
Yeah, that was a busted play. That was some miscommunication there. Somebody ran the wrong way or didn't know the play. So Cameron Rosenthal right now, who's the leading rusher for the Tigers, just tucked it again and got positive yards.
Rosenthal had 11 yards rushing coming into this half, but he's got more now. All right, attempted field goal of 34 yards, right down the middle. Good snap. And the kick is good. So the Tigers are the first ones to strike as the Tigers go up by a score of 3-0. And it took almost 2 quarters to get points on the board, but the points, of course, are in the Tigers' favor.
Yeah, well, what you got going on? We're about to go to break here, so we'll finish our thought.
All right, fans, the Tennessee State University Tigers have taken the lead 3-0 with 8:22 remaining in the first half. You're listening to OVC Football on ESPN+. As Tennessee State University has taken the lead 3-0 on a Zeta field goal, and with a little wind to his back, the ball goes out of the end zone. Good kickoff by Caleb Mosley.
Yeah, so let's get back on those thoughts we had before the break. You know, these points are going to be very, very important when it comes to this type of ball game, because both teams are playing with reserve quarterbacks. In Tennessee State's case, they're playing with a third-string quarterback, Cameron Rosenthal, who's making his first start this year. And, of course, the star for the UT Martin, Presser Wynn, is not playing today. So points will be at a premium today.
Hudson back to pass, and it's incomplete. And that's one of those deals where Jalen Moore got ready to go before he had the ball secured. And incomplete.
Yeah, we talked about that matchup earlier. Will Hoy being the least experienced in the secondary, they're singling him up with Jalen Moore, who's the second leading receiver for the Skyhawks, and they're going to start working that matchup.
Tigers still playing tough in the middle of that field. Good defensive effort by Justin Bryant. Bryant's a freshman out of Cane Ridge, 6'2", 220 pounds.
Yeah, that's Jay Sean Bryant, and he made a freshman play. He tried to skip around that play and was quick enough to get back involved, but most time you want to take that blocker on and blow that play up. But that was a great tackle for loss for the true freshman.
And UT Martin tried to go long on that one as Moore couldn't run that ball down.
Yeah, but that's the matchup that we're talking about. Their second leader receiver on a second-year player for the Tigers, Will Hoyt, who hadn't had a lot of playing time this season. And they just missed on that play. As a receiver, and me being a former receiver, you have to run to that ball. He ran with his hands out, and that slowed him down a little bit. That's something he wants to watch and make sure he doesn't do next time.
Cox on the punt, and Rowland's got some running room. It's rolling across the 50 and finally brought down in UT Martin territory at the 45-yard line. And Rowland's been a little quiet this game, but we saw what he definitely has the ability to do, and he did it right there on that play.
Well, of course, Chris Rowland, the leading receiver for the Tennessee State Tigers, is a dangerous weapon in the return game. His freshman year, he received all OVC honors as a special teams player. When you kick the ball that low, you're asking for it from him. If he didn't run into one of his Tiger players, he might be still running. But nevertheless, that's a positive play, and the Tigers are in plus territory.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Tigers, leading by 3. 3-0 is the score. In motion, tight end. There's a handoff to the big guy, and he might have lost a yard on the play. DeMarco Corbin, 6'1", 225, and when he turns it upfield, he's hard to bring down, but he didn't get a chance to turn it that time.
Yeah, if you the offensive coordinator for Tennessee State, Jeff Parker, you're mad at Corbin. You didn't bring him in the game to try to bounce it out. You brought him into the game to pound it, because this is going to be a 3 yards in the cloud of dust game, so you want to soften up that defense a little bit. I'm bringing you in to bring some punishment. Don't bounce it out. Stay in the hole and give me 2 yards.
All right, Tigers are backing it up. 5 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 16. Ball back in Tennessee State territory. Trying to get outside is Roberson, nowhere to go, and knocked down hard. Number 96, Corbin Harmon, 6'5", 250 pounds. Yes, he's from Mississippi too. Oxford, Mississippi. Yeah. And again, fans, if you think I'm making jokes about Mississippi, I'm not. My partner over here, Derek Fleming, is from Mississippi, and so we're just trying to give Mississippi a little, as the kids call it, a little dap every time they do something.
Yeah, on the play, the Tigers are still trying to run that outside zone, and they're just not having any success with that because, like I said earlier, the UT Martin front 7 is their bread and butter, and they're not going to let you run outside on them. So that's going to be something that the TSU Tigers offensive staff are going to have to get through their brain. That's not going to work. So let's try to run straight at them.
Well, Robertson gets the ball up to about midfield, and no more as Mosley's in the game to punt. It's 4th and long, about 22 yards. It's Williams back to receive. Gets a high booming kick. And it's going to go out of bounds. My goodness, at about the 1 yard line. It can't get much better than that. It's going to be out of bounds at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, he did it. He made that play by himself because none of the Tigers defenders knew where the ball was. So they wasn't going to get down at themselves. But he said, guess what? I got this 60-degree wedge, and I'm just going to aim it, and then I'm going to spin it back to the left a little bit and get it out of bounds. Great kick by the true freshman, Mosley.
All right, well, Mosley puts it down at the 1 yard line, and the Skyhawks are going to have to come crawling out deep in their own territory. And Mosley's probably going to mark that punt as one of his greatest punts in his college career.
Yep, and it's very early in his college career.
He's a freshman.
He's a true freshman. Came in, took the job, has kicked the ball all 9 games this season, and done a phenomenal job. Last year this time this kid was in high school.
And he also kicks off.
And booms it into the end zone there as well. So, the Tigers have found a gem in Caleb Mosley.
All right, well, I see a little more enthusiasm on TSU's sideline. It's been a tough season. It's been a real tough season. And the last time they were in the hole, it was a pretty tough ball game they were in and didn't come out on the shiny side.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Tiger season since we have a little downtime. First of all, let's talk about our brother, and we all say brothers because we all play college football, but Christian Abercrombie,
yes,
who for the holiday season is in Atlanta, Georgia with his family making great progress and recovery. And we had a chance to hear from Stacey Abercrombie, who is truly a rock, last Sunday on the Coach's Show, and she spoke about how Christian was progressing day by day. So let's first of all, let's think about him and put him in our prayers and let the Abercrombie family know that we're thinking about them and we love them for the holiday season.
You're right. And just a month or so ago, we didn't even know if he was going to be with us on this earth. So
it's hard to believe. It's hard to fathom it.
It is amazingly hard. All righty. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Skyhawks from their own 1. They've got to be careful. And the Tigers are coming, and looks like it might be a safety.
That is a safety.
It is a safety.
And that's Dale Porter from the senior out of Memphis, Tennessee, who crashed down on that play. And there's no doubt that he got him in the backfield. And that's a big play for the defensive line because they have controlled this game, and that's a safety for the Tigers.
A safety for the Big Blue Tigers, and on the snap, they penetrated. And that's what you do. And once that penetration occurs, it's really nowhere to go but in the air.
Yep, the Tigers, they pinched down. There was an inside defender that pinched into the B gap, and then there was another defender that pinched down into that C gap, and that was our Dale Porter, who actually got the penetration, and it was just nowhere for him to go.
Nope.
That play had no chance from the beginning. And the Tigers are bouncing around a little bit. The band is playing. The sun is out. This is how you finish up the season, right? You try to go out on a positive note. All
right. Well, with all the action, we still have a baseball score, 5-0. Well, I guess we have a basketball score. That's usually, but you know what? 5 points to nothing. You're still ahead. And the Tigers also get the ball back, as on a safety, the Skyhawks can elect to either punt it or kick it off from the tee, and they're going to kick it off from the tee.
Yeah, this is always a dangerous play because, some of the defenders or some of the receiving team don't really understand it. This still is a free live ball. I saw this play happen a couple of weeks back when I might have been in the pros when they just let the ball just hit the ground and the other team just covered it. So you got to tell your team that this is a live ball. Play it as a kickoff.
A high kick. Came down at the 14,
he's gone.
And Devon Johnson is a speedster, and he's run out of bounds. He ran out of field, really, and he's run out of bounds around the 49-yard line. Boy, he just ran out of field. If he could have had maybe another yard of sideline, he could have turned it up.
Yeah, well, one thing we talk about the Skyhawks, they understand leverage and understand contain. They're really hard to get outside of. That time they had a little slip but they had enough speed on the field to recover because I thought he was gone when he hit that sideline. Another positive start, a positive field position start for the offense. Last time they went backwards. Let's see if they can move forward and have some positive plays on this drive.
I was getting ready to tell you to send me to the doctor. The official had put the ball down the 45-yard line, and I'm like, okay, I saw the 50, and they finally moved it back. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Big Blue, leading 5-0 midfield. And that's Robeson on the carry. You know, he's been earning his yards today.
He's a hard runner.
He is a hard runner, and they have not been easy yards for him.
Yep, but that teeth for that defense for Martin is not budging. I mean, you're talking about Galen and Prather and Wall. Those guys are not giving up much room. So the Tigers are going to have to stay patient and not make a big play.
Rosenthal throwing it down the field and is caught by Johnson. And it's a touchdown, Big Blue. How did he catch that ball?
Well, sometimes when you're at home and you're in the hole, you know, the spirit comes up. And because that came between two defenders. I mean,
double covered and well covered.
Well covered, and the ball underthrown.
Yeah, underthrown, and one of the defenders appeared to hit the ball.
Yes.
My goodness.
Well, the Tigers deserve a little luck this season. It's been a tough season for them, not having 2 games that were canceled, losing one of their top defenders and players to a very severe injury. I mean, sometimes the ball bounces your way, Howard.
It does. And let's give Rosenthal credit. Even though he underthrew it, in that kind of situation, that was probably the best thing. It worked out for him.
Yeah, well, you know, that's a sudden – you know, that's what Coach Reed calls a sudden play, right, a strike play, because they got a big play on the kickoff return, and they took a shot. It was a shot play, and they was going to take a shot at the end zone, and, you know, sometimes those breaks go your way. So if you're UT Martin, you can't be down on yourself. You're still playing sound. You're game planning the Tigers well. And that was just a bounce that just didn't go your way.
47-yard touchdown pass to Johnson. Zito's ready to kick it.
Yeah, I think they're going to review this play, Howard.
Okay.
It looks like the referees are going over here, and they're going to have a review.
Well, it's a possibility he did touch down before he got the ball across the line, and it needs to be looked at. But the amazing thing was the catch, and it was pretty outstanding.
Yeah, so looking at these numbers, Rosenthal is 5 for 8 for 54 yards. If that play well, he'll probably lose a yard. So, I mean, he's over 50% completion percentage. That's what you want from your third-string quarterback. He has 5 carries for 33 yards. And the big thing, he hasn't turned the ball over and made the big mistake. So, I mean, you can't ask much more when you're down to your third-string quarterback.
And both these teams have started off very conservative. And then late in the second quarter, both teams open up as UT Martin started throwing the bomb. The difference is that the Tigers caught theirs and Moore couldn't catch up with the one thrown to him. Just in the series prior to TSU taking over. Yeah,
that was an overthrow by Hudson, trying to pick on the young, inexperienced DB. I forgot his name. Excuse me. But our cornerback. And
well, somebody down near the screen is clapping with the TSU cap, so I got a feeling that they might call this thing touchdown.
Yep, they ruled it a touchdown.
Oh, they did? Okay. So I'm listening to you talking, and I'm not paying attention.
And I'm losing my train of thought.
Okay.
So it was Will Hoyt. We was talking about the play Will Hoyt.
Yeah.
And nevertheless, so that's the difference between a 6, a 7, or a touchdown or a 3 and out. So
that's right.
Game of inches, as you said.
And there's flag and legal procedure called on the Tigers. It's going to back them up 5 yards.
Yeah, that's a lack of concentration there. It's hard to have a procedure call on an extra point. You got to just get in your stance and wait for the ball to be snapped.
And that was the tight end for the Big Blue. He's slapping himself on the chest, Miles Cavett, and he knows that he just moved. That pushes them back for a 25-yard extra point. And the kick is good. The Tigers have 12 points on the board now, and all of it is taking place in the second quarter.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. You know, it was no point scored in the first quarter. The Tigers had a positive drive and kicked the field goal. Got 3 points to take the lead 3-0. The Tigers followed that next drive with a safety, and then now the Tigers just scored on a touchdown. So it looked like we're getting ready to go to break here, Howard. It looked like they're queuing us for a break, and we'll be back here shortly.
All right, fans, you're listening to OVC Football on ESPN Plus, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Cold won't let you sleep? Try new NyQuil Severe with Vicks VapoCool.
That was a kickoff by Mosley through the end zone, and I just got corrected up here. You know, you got to forgive me, fans. I was on the radio for 35 years, and so sometimes I forget to say watch. Now, I'm not supposed to criticize myself on television. That's not, it's not important. It's not what they say appropriate. You know what? I'm the one who's got the mic right now, and so I apologize for not saying watching, but hopefully you're listening to us too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And some people might be like I was a few minutes ago and not paying attention, and if they weren't listening, they wouldn't have known what was happening. So I'm really not wrong. All righty. I guess I played that out about as far as I need to.
But Howard, we're just having a good time for the last game of the season. But just a little bit on this play, that UT Martin is still trying to run that counter play, trying to take advantage of an aggressive defense of the Tigers, and they are just playing sound. Once again, the true freshman, Sean Bryant, blowing that play up in the backfield and allowing other Tigers to clean it up.
Second down, 9 yards to go. It's pass outside and a good hit by TSU on the play for the Big Blue Tigers, Shakur Jackson. And he's only 170 pounds, but he used every pound.
Yeah, he's tough as nails. I mean, he's a little engine in the backfield for the Tigers, or the secondary for the Tigers, and he knows all the keys and makes all the calls, and it's hard to get one by him like that. So that's a negative play for the Skyhawks on third. Now they have a third and long.
3rd and 11, and the ball is deep in the territory. Quarterback's going to keep it, and he's going to pick up a few yards, but not near enough, as it's going to be a 4th down. Joe Hudson can beat you with his legs, and I'm surprised that he hasn't run the ball more, but that time he just wanted to keep it safe and got the ball up to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, well, the Tigers are doing a good job of squeezing the pocket and keeping them in the pocket. That time he had a little room, but the Tigers were in the zone defense, and time he broke the line of scrimmage, they were ready to come pick him up. So the Tigers defense are doing an excellent job right now on keeping the Skyhawks scoreless in the first half.
And Roland's going to let the ball go out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. And Tennessee State leading 12-0 will take it over 1st and 10. It seems as though Cameron Rosenthal is starting to mold into his game on the field right now. You know, you got to keep it simple for him because he hasn't had to play very much and hadn't had the opportunity, but he looks more comfortable out there and it's just kind of doing his thing. Yeah,
well, I don't think he's had real game time action in 2 years. I mean, and he's coming off a bad injury. So, you just got to be patient with him and run the football and try to control the game and the time and the clock, especially when you have a lead.
Roberson on the carry. Galen and Barnes on the stop. Pickup of a yard on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 9. Another great defensive play by Corbin Harmon, along with the cornerback, Wanya Moulton.
Right. Well, we already talked about how sound the UT Martin defense, their staff and their scheme is very sound. They don't give up a lot of big plays, and they don't give up a lot of big runs. And so what the running backs for the Tigers are looking at now is receivers, y'all got to get involved. Hey, y'all got to help me out here. I'm trying to bounce this thing out, and you got to wall your cornerback off. And so right now they're just keeping the Tigers squeezed into a box, and everybody's just taking turns making tackles. So they're going to have to try to figure that out in the second half, how to loosen up that tough UT Martin front seven and try to get some running lanes in the second half.
Rosenthal, the quarterback, is still the leading rusher with 33 yards, but right behind him is Roberson, and he's got 29, but it's 29 on 15 carries. So, I mean, it's been tough out there for him, but he keeps digging away. Third down. Tigers get another penalty. And, again, they just got to get it together. There are a lot of players out there on that field that wouldn't normally be on the field had it not been for injuries and their need to play.
Yeah, but that was Stephen Newbold, your sensational junior wide receiver. There's just lack of concentration. As a receiver, you cannot false start. And he did that, and now the Tigers are in a long and third down and long.
On the carry for the Tigers, Leclerc's.
Yeah, that would look like that was Sean McCauley right there.
Sean McCauley. I was getting ready to say Leclerc's cooked, but he's a defensive back, and I don't think he's even playing right now. But, yes, Tigers, based on that penalty, it would have been first down. Had it not been for the penalty, it's going to be 4th and 6 for the Big Blue as a result of that penalty.
Well, UT Martin took advantage of their timeouts trying to get the ball back before the end of the first half. Of course, they get the ball in the second half as well, as they won the toss and deferred. So it's very important for the Tigers to finish this half off with UT Martin not getting any momentum because that's what hurt them last week in Jacksonville State. They had a chance to punch it in, didn't do so, and that game kind of went downhill from that point.
All right, I believe that's Williams back to receive. Another high punt coming down around the 27-yard line, and it's fair caught.
Well, UT Martin is going to try to be in a no-huddle 2-minute offense here, trying to get some points before the half. They have one timeout left, so they have plenty of time to march the ball down the field, and plenty of clock to do so. So let's see if the Tigers defense can hold here.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Skyhawks. Joe Hudson at quarterback. And in the backfield with him, Ladarius Galloway. Hudson's looking upfield. He throws across the middle and looks like it was caught by Williams. And it was. And they're getting the line set up quickly as the ball was caught at the 43-yard line, pick up a 14 yards.
Yeah, best throw of the day for Hudson. He read the deep in route and made a good throw.
And that pass was complete to Galloway. He's brought down about midfield as UT Martin is in that 2-minute deal. Pick up a 7. Tigers still putting pressure on. There's a pass. It's incomplete. Pass was intended for Jalen Moore. The Tigers put pressure on that time. They had to let it go just a second early.
Yeah, that was Tigers brought pressure off the edge. That was Vincent Sellers that was in on that blitz and made Hudson get rid of the ball. 3rd and 2.
They got to slow the game down a little bit too, so they can get their bearings on both sides. There's a pass, Galloway. And he's run out of bounds short of the 45-yard line, about the 46, pick up of 4 yards.
Oh.
They're going to mark it down at the
Whoa.
47.
Oh. Well.
And it's a first down.
Yeah, that. we're not going to say anything. We don't want to get fined. That's a first down, Skyhawks. That bottom line judge had a different mark from the top guy.
And that was Williams on the catch. I guess it was a catch. The ball came out. He took a hard lick. But that was a big play to the 34-yard line. Pick up of 13 yards and a first down. Tennessee State University calling timeout, just trying to slow down this train.
Yeah, that was a deep seam route. The Tigers were in cover 2 coverage, and they ran 2 verticals there. And after he cleared that backer, the quarterback found him underneath the safety and made a good throw. Hudson's best throws have been on this drive. He had a deep in route that he made a good throw on throw and catch and for a first down. And he's pretty much running this 2-minute offense to a T. This is the most offensive production UT Martin has had all game.
So, as a coach, do you go in the dressing room and do some semblance of the 2-minute drill when they come back in the second half? Maybe not necessarily the 2-minute drill, but they're a quicker offense, so to speak.
Yeah, well, once again, you're dealing with a backup, so you're
true.
watching him throughout the week and the things that he is understanding and does well. So, I mean, a lot of time when you can play fast, that's good for an inexperienced quarterback.
All right, it's going to be 1st and 10. Hudson back to pass. And the ball's in there and falls to the ground. Tigers are looking for offensive interference that just doesn't get called very often. Shakir Jackson was saying he was holding me.
Yeah, well, on that play was Ladarius Cook, who's a senior playing on senior day from Alabama. He read that play the whole time and stepped in front. And then if the UT Martin defender doesn't become a defender, that is a pick.
All right, 2nd and 10. Martin threatening. There's a pass wide open. Is Williams. Another first down inside the 10-yard line. Ball on the 9. And timeout. UT Martin.
Well, that's an important timeout for UT Martin. That's their last timeout. So this is a very similar situation for Tennessee State Tigers last week against Jacksonville State. They were on the 1-yard line with no timeouts and wasn't able to score because of time management. Let's look and see what UT Martin does. They have to call 2, maybe 3 plays in this huddle and know that if the ball is thrown, it must go into the end zone, or you just need to clock it or throw it away because you don't have any timeouts and you're on the 9-yard line. So let's see what UT Martin does in this situation.
All right, well, all of a sudden, Terry Williams has awakened. He only has 3 catches, but it's for 53 yards, longest one 21, but he's averaging 17 yards of reception, and that's all on this series.
Yeah, well, you got to understand, you got to play 2 high safeties here. So you understand that you're going to play a little prevent. And the Skyhawks have marched down the field. Hudson is getting into a rhythm. And so that's looking to see what they call here. Will they call 2 plays or 1 and just try to get 3? Or will they? I'm pretty sure they're going to the end zone.
They're going to the end zone on this one. Wide outs to either side. Hudson. Back to pass. He's looking, has a man open, and he's going to come up short of the touchdown, but that was Galloway on the reception. That's his 4th reception, 8 seconds remaining. Clock is running. UT Martin again taking time.
That's an illegal formation. That's an illegal formation there, and they did not call that. The Skyhawks got away with that. There was most definitely a illegal formation that won Jalen Moore, and number 10 for the Skyhawks were not on the line of scrimmage, which is Devontae Howard, and you got to have 7 on the line of scrimmage there. That's a major missed call and a big break for the Skyhawks.
All right, Courtright in to attempt a field goal. 19-yard field goal attempt. Kick is up. And the kick is good. As time runs out in the first half, UT Martin gets points on the board.
Yeah, those are big points for the Skyhawks. They were held scoreless majority of the game. They was able to punch in and get 3, but a good effort for the Tigers in the first half.
Okay. Well, fans, that's the end of the first half as Tennessee State goes into the dressing room leading 12-3. And we're here in Nashville, Tennessee at Tennessee State University. We'll be back for halftime activities after these messages. You are watching ESPN Plus and OVC.
One thing for the Tigers, they have a third-string quarterback in. So that's why those numbers are like that. And the Skyhawks have a second-string quarterback in. So the Tigers have been very stingy on the run game. So the Skyhawks had to try to go to a short passing game to try to get some positive yardage.
Well, the Skyhawks had momentum going into the locker room and scoring 3 points on a 19-yard field goal. Now they'll get first possession in this first half. Let's see if the Tigers will be able to contain the Skyhawks' air attack. And that's Williams on return. It's Pendleton. No, that's not Williams. Flags everywhere.
Yeah, that's a major block in the back right there. That's coming back. Actually, there was 2 of them. They blocked the true freshman from Cane Ridge. Jay-Sean Bryant was there, about to make a big hit on the receiver, Bowie. And he was pushed in the back, and that's going back.
All right. Well, we haven't heard a lot from Bo in this ball game, but that was a big return. But I don't know if you've got a bunch of blocks in the back, maybe you don't get that big a return.
Right. Well, we saw it right away, and the officials saw it as well. So that the UT Martin is going to start deep into their territory with their first drive in the second half.
All right. Well, that's going to push the ball way back inside the 10-yard line. Ball will be marked at the 9, nullifying the big return by Bo. And the UT Martin Skyhawks will take it 1st and 10 from that point. And we'll see if they can pick up where they left off at the end of the first half. Joe Hudson is taking it all the way. And hand it off to Galloway off the right tackle. He gets across the 15 up to around the 16 or 17-yard line.
Yeah, that's the UT Martin's bread and butter. That's a counter play once again. And that time the true freshman, Jay-Sean Bryant, was there again, but he stood up a little high and let him get positive yardage on that play.
Pass to Williams, and he steps out of bounds. On defense for TSU, DeJure Nesbitt. And there has been a change defensively. I see Nesbitt out there. I do not see Wilhoit. So Nesbitt is on one corner.
And it looks like Harper Jr. is on the other.
All right, Nick Harper Jr. Big third down play. It passed to Galloway, and Galloway's caught well behind the first down marker, and they'll have to punt it. Good defensive stand for the Big Blue.
Well, I've been watching him the whole game just because he's a kid that I watched in high school and it lives in my area. That's Jay-Sean Bryant once again he's a true freshman getting his first start, and he was on that play, and he just stopped that play. That was a pick route. That was an easy pitch and catch for Skyhawks, and he made a individual effort to keep him from making that first down, and that's a great play for a freshman.
Tigers going to have to be careful now. Oh, well, there's the kick. And there's Rowland, gets away from 1-2 tacklers and finally brought down at the 41. Tigers in Skyhawk territory. Great field position to start this second half.
Well, you saw some good things for the Skyhawk. They come right out of the halftime with their bread and butter play. They stretch you out and try to run that counter. They got positive yards, around 5 or 6 yards on that first play. They came right back with a quick throw outside to the edge on just the extension of the run game, got 2 yards, and then it just took a great play by the Tigers to keep them from getting the first down. It was a 3-and-out for the Skyhawks.
All right, Rosenthal, the quarterback. Tigers have the ball at the Skyhawk 41. And they come back playing tough defensively. On the tackle, number 92, Joseph Murray, and Wall also on the tackle. Pickup of 1 on the play.
Yeah, we've been calling those names the whole game. Like we said, the UT Martin defense is just sound when it comes to edge protection and leverage and containment. They're not going to let you get outside of them, and they've just been balling up the Tigers the whole game.
Pass to Rowland, had him open, but a little too high. Rosenthal was on the move, just couldn't get set before he let that ball go. And dangerous pass. Fortunately, it fell harmlessly to the ground.
Yeah, well, that's a good play call by the Tigers, though. They tried to get Rosenthal out of the pocket with a little play-action fake. Unfortunately, he threw the ball a little high. 3rd and long on the 39-yard line of the Skyhawks.
Here they come. Here comes the defense, and Rosenthal is going to be dragged down after about a yard gain on the tackle. Anthony Brown. You know, when you talk about throwing a high pass to Rowland, I guess for average ball player that would not be a high pass, but Rowland, they stretch him at about 5'8", right?
Yep. He's a smaller target, but if you throw it anywhere in his vicinity, most times he comes down with it.
He'll get it. All right, Tigers could not muster too much offense. Low snap. And probably what caused Mosley to have to just boot it out. He couldn't really get set up for an angle and just had to get that ball off.
Yeah. It looks like the coaches are having a few words. They might have had a little something funny going on right there because they look surprised he kicked that ball. And they're still discussing it as well. So that might have been a play call on there. That the true freshman might have missed there.
Well, that's, again, that was a low snap, and the rush was coming, and he might have gotten in a situation where he felt like he needed to just get that ball off. Sometimes players have to make those calls, especially special team players, and he doesn't look too upset about it. You know, I've seen him before when coach has gotten on him, and it really bothers him a lot, but the kids are high-fiving him, and he's talking, but he doesn't seem very bothered by it. So maybe it wasn't a big problem. All right, 12-3 is the score. Tennessee State University trying to win their piece of the Sergeant York Award. And as Derek had said earlier, it's awarded to the team in the state of Tennessee who has the most victories. And if Tennessee State wins, it's going to be a 3-way tie. If UT Martin wins, they'll get to take it home.
Yeah, and that's an important accomplishment because, you think about all the teams that are in the OVC that are reside in the state of Tennessee. I believe there's 4.
Yep.
What is it? Austin Peay, Tennessee Tech, UT Martin, and Tennessee State.
TSU, right.
And so, that's a recruiting battle of the state of Tennessee. If you look at these rosters, these teams have the majority of their players from the state of Tennessee. So you try to find any accomplishment that you can present as a value to come into your program. And so this is a big game for these two programs.
All right, going to be first down for UT Martin at the 20. There's a pass to Williams, and buddy, if that ball gets in his hands, he holds on too.
Yes, indeed. That is what you call a hands catch.
That's really Jalen Moore, not Williams.
Yeah, that's Jalen Moore, and then that's one of their big-time receivers they had, and he ran a button hook, came back to the football, caught it with his hand, and that's a positive play on first down.
8 yards on the play. Quarterback keeper, and might have lost a yard. Definitely didn't gain one. I think they're going to mark it right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be third down, a yard to go.
Yeah, that play was a little fake off that vaunted counter play they like to play, and the quarterback kept it for a short gain.
He's going to keep it again. And we'll have to wait and see. We had talked earlier that the quarterback Hudson had some good legs. I heard Coach saying that he can make plays with his legs, with his feet, and they're starting to use it more as there's a UT Martin player on the ground. You hate to see players get hurt any time in the season, but you absolutely hate to see them get hurt in the last game of the season.
Yeah, that's what one thing you have to always do in football, play 100%, right?
That's right.
It doesn't matter, if you're playing for a championship or you're playing for just pride. You have to, when you hit the football field, you have to play 100% because the time you let up is the time that you will have a problem. So hopefully this young man will be okay. And look like they're getting ready to go. Look like we're staying here, Howard. So I'm going to throw it back to you and see what we got here.
All right, hey, this turned into a talk show, man.
See what's on your mind now.
Hey, we've got a new guy in the booth with us, man. He's doing all the camera work, and he's doing commercials, and I see about 4 plates of food over there, and I'm not going to call his name because then that's kind of cruel. But one of those plates is half full, so that means he must have eaten all he could. All right. It's going to be first down and 10 at the 31. Hudson back to pass. He's looking, and the Tigers have him. Great job by the defense.
Dante Ferguson. Yeah, at that time, that was a coverage sack, Howard. What they tried to do was try to run a screen and go. They've been running that short screen out to the wide edge the whole game, and that time they faked it and tried to run a wheel route up the sideline, and Shakir Jackson didn't go for it. He stayed at home, and that's what made the quarterback have to hold that football.
Well, that took him all the way back to the 24-yard line. Second and long. And there's an interception. And it looks like he's got field in front of him. 15 down to the 11-yard line. And the Big Blue Tigers, DeJure Nesbitt, comes up with a big pick, and the defense does it again.
Well, we talked about it, Howard. We talked about trying to stay patient with backup quarterbacks. And the last 2 plays, UT Martin decided to get a little aggressive. They ran in a screen and go, and he got sacked. That time he tried to go back to a deep out, and DeJure Nesbitt, the best defender that the Tigers have in the secondary, he bit him into that play. And time he threw it, he knew he was going to jump that route, and came off his man and picked it for a big play for the Tiger defense.
All right, Tigers have it 1st and 10 at the Skyhawk 11-yard line. Rosenthal hands it off. And with a little help from the tacklers, the Tigers move the ball inside the 10-yard line. Roberson on the carry.
Yeah, that's tough running for the junior from the junior college out of Iowa. I mean, he's been churning hard and fighting for every yard that he's got. He rode the back of his two guards right there, Raekwon Allen, and he got a couple of yards, 2nd down.
All right, 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Pass is incomplete. Flag on the play.
That's 2 penalties. That's going to be pass interference, and that's going to be roughing the passer because the Skyhawk defenders just took a cheap shot at Rosendahl on that one. I mean, that play was over with. That ball should be moved almost inside the 2-yard line now with both of those plays.
So on those plays, do you get a full penalty, or does it have to go half the distance?
Well,
inside the 20.
Well, I think they're going to have to. I think they have to enforce both because one's a dead ball.
Half the distance. So the Tigers only got one bite at that apple, and coaches declined pass interference.
You know, that couldn't have been called pass interference. If that's a pass interference call, that ball has to go to the 2-yard line because the play occurred in the end zone. Then you get the half of the other play, and you're on the 1. So that call being holding saves the Skyhawks 3 yards.
All right, the Tigers have the big bruiser in, DeMarco Corbin. And he carries the ball down to the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal. Corbin again inside the 5. Hard fought, maybe a yard on the play. He's got it down to the 4. UT Martin is not giving up an inch. 47 on the tackle. Austin Pickett. You've been calling that name today.
Yeah, he's an anchor at nose guard. He's hard to move out of there. They're not getting much movement against him at all.
6'1", 280. He might just need to just stand there. Rosenthal looking to pass. He throws a quick one, and it's incomplete. That's a hard pass to catch right over your head, and Roland couldn't come up with it. Should have caught that one. He had his back to us. We couldn't really see.
That's a hard view from our angle to see exactly what happened with that throw. But nevertheless, that the way that call was made saved 3 yards for the Skyhawks because the play occurred in the end zone. If it's a pass interference call, that ball goes to the 2-yard line. And then you had a dead ball penalty, and that's another half the distance, and that ball goes to the 1. So the Tigers need to make sure they get 3 here.
All right, Zeta in the ball game. 22-yard attempt. Kick is up. And the kick is good. That's his 2nd field goal of the game. 15-3 is the score. And the Tigers put points on the board. And fans, we're going to take a break. You're looking at OVC Football on ESPN3 as we go to our station for a message.
Keep your stories interesante, like Dos Equis, the beer that inspired the first 2-point conversion.
Tennessee State University, 3rd quarter, 7:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Tigers have gone up by 3 more points, 15-3, and still, this is anybody's game. Yeah,
that was a great possession for the Tigers to get points with a low-scoring game. Points are at a premium.
Right.
So, you're disappointed in not getting 7, but you definitely have to get 3 to make it a 2-score game. And now the Tigers have to there you go. There's
Another flag on the play.
That's another block in the back, and I was sitting there and I saw it, and I kind of paused because I was wondering who's going to call it, but it was definitely a block on the back against the Tigers. Number 8, James Green, was pushed in the back, and that's how that guy got open. But talking about them points, though, the points are at a premium, and so the Tigers just need to not worry about the touchdowns, just keep scoring opportunities. When they come, get points, and keep playing solid defense.
Another good return by Bo was nullified by penalty, and the Tiger defense is going to dig in again as UT Martin is going to start once more from deep in their own territory. On the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that's been the common theme for the Skyhawks offense. They've been starting a lot of their drives inside of their own 20, and it's hard to drive 20 or 80, 90 yards against the Tigers defense.
Quarterback Hudson. Good run by Galloway, almost a first down. He's about a yard short. He found they're going to mark him down at the 18-yard line. So a pickup of 8 yards on the play. 2nd and 2.
You know what play that was, Howard? That's that counter play. I mean, that's their bread and butter. I mean, they run that play religiously on every series, and that time they popped it for 8.
Pass to the big tight end. First time we've had a tight end pass for a first down.
And looks like there's a new quarterback in the game. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, that's a new quarterback in the game.
John Backus, the third.
Yeah, he's the freshman out of Pulaski.
All right, pick up a first down. The ball on the 25. And Backus must have an arm. And that was a good defensive play by TSU as Backus put it up there, put it on the mark, and had it not been a great defensive play, that would have been a reception.
Yeah, but everything's coming off that play action, Howard. Everything's coming from that counter play. The last 3 plays have been counter-based. One was a run. They actually ran the counter. The next one was a play action off the counter and threw to the tight end. And then that time they once again did the play action on the counter and threw a deep pass. So UT Martin is trying to get the Tigers off base and make them become undisciplined with those play action fakes.
It's just a bad read that time. Pressure put on by Tennessee State's Justin Culpepper. And again, a new quarterback in the game for UT Martin, John Backus III. He's a 6'2", 210-pound freshman out of Pulaski, Tennessee. Giles County High School.
So I guess it's the battle of the third-string quarterbacks, right?
It is now. Except one has had a whole game to get some experience. 3rd down and 10. He's going upfield. Moore is open and catches that ball and scores.
Yeah, we see who has the arm. The freshman has come in and thrown 2 deep passes, and he's hitting at 50% because that is a bomb for a touchdown to Jalen Moore.
DeJure Nesbitt fell on that play, and Moore kept his eyes on that football. A huge touchdown pass by the freshman, John Backus III, out of Pulaski, Tennessee. Cox into kick, and it's good. We got a ball game, fans. 6:24 remaining in this third quarter, and UT Martin has pulled within 5 points of the Tigers.
Well, you have to give it to the Skyhawks. They have come out in the second half and been aggressive. They've been trying to throw balls down the field, tried to had a couple of trick plays that didn't work. They stayed to their guns. They're trying to win this football game, and they brought in their freshman quarterback that obviously has a big arm, Backus, and he threw 2 big balls, and one actually hit, and it hit for a touchdown. The best play of the day for the Skyhawks, and now it's just a 5-point game.
All right, and that is a vision we've seen before. Vanderbilt University, Tennessee State in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And who was the one that fell after having a big ball game?
Yep, that's unfortunate. It's one of those type of seasons.
All right, fans, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment. You're listening and watching OVC Football on ESPN+. Fans, we're back after a big 79-yard touchdown pass from the newly inserted freshman quarterback for UT Martin, John Backus III, to Moore, and this game is now a 5-point difference. 15-10, Tennessee State leading. And then I don't know whether they meant to or didn't mean to, but they made sure that Devon Johnson or Newbold didn't get their hands on that football.
Yeah, well, you're the most dangerous kick returning team in the OVC, and 2 weeks in a row, both teams have decided not to kick to the receivers or to the returners. So that's just part of the game plan. They want you to go 65 before you can score and just not get a quick flash play like that.
All right, with the out-of-bounds kick that moves the ball to the 35-yard line, Tennessee State will start first down and 10 from that point. Rosenthal, the third-string quarterback in this game all the way. Hughes, injured, has not been able to play. Wide outs to either side. That play to Newbold was very, very well covered by UT Martin.
Yeah, well, that kind of formation gave that play away. I'm sitting there looking, and then you saw a tight end in a split position. I think that Skyhawks did their game plan on that. They read that play early.
Well, Pittman and Gilliam both on that play. Tigers lose 4 yards. 2nd and 14. First down by the Big Blue and more. Tigers doing a great job on that play. On the run. Is that Sean McCauley?
That's Sean McCauley out of the backfield.
Sean McCauley picking up the first down all the way up to the 46-yard line. 12 yards on the play and a first down.
Yeah, that's a play that trying to get the quarterback out of the pocket and get him the chance to throw the ball on the run and try to get him into a rhythm.
Again, McCauley on the play, on the carry, but that play was really kind of messed up by Raekwon Allen. He kind of got tripped up. He couldn't get his feet under him and really got in the way of that play on the pull, but still the Tigers picked up a yard. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, well, we talked about it. The front seven of the UT Martin is winning the battle of the line of scrimmage. The Tigers are really struggling to get that run game going.
All right, this is a big third down play for the Big Blue. Ball at the 47-yard line of the Skyhawks. And they're packing it up in the middle. First down, Tennessee State. As that was a strong run, but you know what? We got to give the offensive line on the right side of TSU a lot of credit, too.
Yeah, that's occupies Raekwon Allen, the right guard, and the senior Justin Brooks over there on that right side that paved the way for the first down. This is a good ball control type of series for the Tigers. They're starting to get a little footing in the run game.
1st and 10 for the Big Blue. Fake to McCauley. And Rosenthal trips over his player, and there's a player down for the Big Blue. Looks like a lineman.
Yeah, that right there is on that play. That was a little just inexperience right there. Had plenty of time to throw the football and just kept it. And stepped on his tight end. That looks like number 82 for the Tigers that was stepped on by his own quarterback. And that's Aaron Coffin, the redshirt sophomore from Georgia. And let's hopefully he's not too injured too bad.
Well, he didn't mean to.
No, he didn't mean to.
Okay. Well,
yeah, he got to get rid of that football, and we can't hold it that long.
Well, I was looking at something, and, of course, I'm always paying attention. And I was looking at Sean McCauley from Chattanooga, and guess what high school he went to? McCauley High School.
Yeah.
Yeah. McCauley went to McCauley.
Right.
It's spelled two different ways, but
right.
you pronounce it the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, you already knew that, right? Huh?
Yeah, I remember him being part of the signing class last year. And look like we're getting ready to go to break, Howard, so I'll let you do the breakdown.
I have two break men here. All right, fans, you've been listening to and looking at ESPN3, Ohio Valley Football, and we're going to take a break. Tennessee State leading 15-10. We'll be back in a moment.
All right, that's number.
Tennessee at Tennessee State University. Tigers 2nd and long. Going deep down the field. And there's pass interference as Rowland had position on that play, and the defender just wasn't going to – he wasn't going to let that one happen. And so
well, that's a smart play, Howard.
Yep.
We wish DeJour would have done that, you know. Would have got 15 yards instead of 79. But that's been a good defensive play for the Skyhawks today. And if they get beat, they just grab and go to the next play.
Well, DeJour would have had to grab his ankle because he was on the ground. And I'm trying to see that number. It sure looks like number 6, but Terry Williams is wide receiver. But it's just hard to see it. I'm sure everybody – oh, it's number 9. Number 9, and that's Antonio Clifton, safety. 1st and 10 for the Big Blue. Ball at the 35 via the penalty. And I guess that play was designed. Was that an option, or was it designed for him to run it? It just
that was an RPO.
Okay.
And he just decided to tuck it. Neither the run nor the pass to the flat was there in his view. So instead of making a big mistake, he just kept it and just tucked it. So, I mean, that's what he's done the whole game. He's just not trying to make the big mistake, and that's keeping the Tigers in the game right now.
And Rowland had a rough time trying to block on that one. Probably made the best decision. Pass to Newbold. This is his first catch of the game. And his first down, Big Blue, as Newbold runs it out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, that was a great high-low route. They flooded that side with the running back into the flat, and Newbold ran a comeback. And the little time that Rosendahl bought himself to look down the field, he saw Newbold on that comeback route and threw a great pass.
Rosenthal, the quarterback for TSU, has been playing a solid ball game this entire afternoon.
Yeah, all you want him to do is be a game manager right now, and that's what he's been doing.
On the carry for the Tigers, Sean McCauley. I still think it's kind of neat. McCauley out of McCauley High School. You know, you don't want to make a big deal of it. That's okay. All right. Let the official make a bad call, though, and you're all over him. You know, I try to come up with something special, and you just play me off like, yeah, he does. Okay. 5 yards on the play. It's 4 yards. It's going to be second down and 7. Rosenthal's got time. He throws, and let's see if they're going to mark it in. Yes, they are. Johnson, you only had to have 1 foot in bounds, right?
That's it. And it looked like it was the back foot, looked like it was the left foot that he drugged to stay in bounds. It was just concerned about the right one touching down first, out of bounds. But it looks like that's a good pitch and catch, and the Tigers are on the move.
Ball on the 7-yard line, 1st and goal for the Big Blue. I know Coach Reed would like to stuff that ball in, but and he's got the running backs to do it. Can the line block this tough defense? Oh, there's the fake. Rosenthal on the keeper. Great tackle. But there's going to be celebration, and probably
it's got to be on UT Martin. That kid jumped up and just jumped all in Cameron Rosenthal's face. And, yes, it is against UT Martin. And it was lucky that the officials were right there. It was totally unnecessary. He made a big play, and you just want to go back to your huddle and get ready for the next one. He decided to jump in the face of the quarterback, and that is going to be a 1st down for the Tigers.
Well, that's Martindale. He's from Nashville, Tennessee, Cane Ridge, and probably just wanted to show out a little bit for his fans and his home folk, but didn't do a lot for the team.
Yeah, the good teams don't make those type of mistakes, right? You know, you don't give. You had a loss on that play. You was about to have 2nd and goal from outside the 10, and now it's 1st and goal on the 6.
And that ends the 3rd quarter. It's been a long 3rd quarter, and it's been a good quarter for UT Martin. So, fans, we're going to go into the 4th quarter of this ball game with the score Tennessee State 15, UT Martin 10. We'll be back after this message. You're listening to OVC Football on ESPN+.
We'll go the dose.
That's what I'm talking about. Game over! Dose time!
Dose.
As UT Martin has played tough the entire ball game defensively, and they're not going to let them just walk in. 1st down and goal. Rosenthal going backwards. And he's been having trouble with that this entire half. You got to get that ball out of your hands. You got to do something. As the Tigers now have been pushed back to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable. I mean, you have a ball 1st and goal on the 6. You run that play, and the quarterback has to get rid of that ball. He has to know that he can't take a sack there. But that's very reminiscent of last week. That was a similar play that cost the Tigers 7 points as well.
Good run by the Big Blue. On the carry, Sean McCauley. And he gets a lot of yards back, but would have been a better run had he been on the 6-yard line.
Yeah.
Would have been a touchdown. These penalties have been hurting the Tigers this entire season. And inside that 20-yard line is not where you get penalties. It's not where you make mistakes. But the Tigers have been struggling with that this entire season. 3rd down and goal, ball at the 9. He's got time. He better make his mind up, do something. And it's incomplete. Almost picked off. And in the back of the end zone was Tennessee State University's
Al Malik.
Moore.
Yeah, that's
couldn't hold on.
That's a lucky play. I mean, that should have been picked twice, and that would have been 5 red zone picks in the last 3 weeks. The Tigers just have to stay away from those type of play calls because it brings too much. I mean, it's too much. You squeeze down the red zone. These quarterbacks are having difficulty finding men. There's pressure. Maybe just throw a fade, a low-risk play. But crossing people around like that now with these quarterbacks, backups, I mean, it's too dangerous.
Well, the kick is up and it's good, so the Tigers tack on 3 more points. But again, that end zone is becoming more and more of a struggle. The Tigers take an 8-point lead, and like you said to me on the break, I guess points. The Tigers right now in a low-scoring game like this just need to get points every time, and they're getting them, but they're getting them at the toe of Zeta. I guess that's what he's there for.
Yeah, that was something that the good teams, they punch it in. They punch it in the red zone. They come up with ways to get their talent on the field so that they can make easier or low-risk plays. And I know for a fact the Tigers have a 6'7" wide receiver on the sideline. I've seen him play. I've seen him catch it, and he can go get it. And you got to ask yourselves, hey, let's just do a simple play and just throw it up to him, play a little jump ball. But trying to run these crossing routes and trying to get the quarterback to read has really given the Tigers the last 3 weeks a total headache because that's where all the turnovers have happened.
All right, fans, we are here in the 4th and final quarter of this ball game, and Tennessee State University is hanging on to the lead that they have had from the beginning. They started off with a 3-point field goal, of course, by Zeta early in the ball game, and Zeta's toe has kept them so far in a good spot.
Yeah, well, we knew this game would be a tight one in the 4th quarter, and it looked like it's getting ready to be it's a 1-score game. UT Martin has been in several games like this. They've been on the bad side of it. They've lost 4 games. With 7 points or less this year, can easily have a winning record right now. So let's see what the Skyhawks do. They brought in the freshman quarterback, and he struck gold with a big pass, 9-yard touchdown pass. Let's see if he stays hot when he comes back in.
All right, fans, well, the Tigers will be kicking off, and there are 2 dangerous guys back there that can break it at any point in time, and that is Bo and also Terry Williams. Either one of them can get it and go. And I think that it is clearly understood by the Tennessee State special teams that can happen.
Yeah, that's a smart play this year. You get the ball on 25 anytime you fair catch it inside of the 25, so don't need to try to force something there. Just field it cleanly and let your offense get back on the field. They scored 7 last time they were on the field.
All right, UT Martin has them huddled up over there on the sidelines. They're a team that is known for 4th quarter heroics. And so the Tigers are going to have to stay on their toes on this one if they want to pull off a victory in this final game of the season. Backus in the game. He's going deep again. And, boy, luckily it was overthrown because for a moment Nesbitt lost that ball.
Yeah, that was a double move, and once again, the Skyhawks are being aggressive. They brought in the freshman from Pulaski, Backus the third, and all his throws, it seemed like, have been deep. He has a big-time arm, and they're trying and testing the secondary of the Tigers right now.
All right, it's going to be 2nd down. 10 to go. Ball on the 25. Strong run by Peyton Logan. 5'8", 180 pounds. And we're starting to see some new names in this ball game. And definitely contributing.
Well, you know what that is, Howard. That's their bread and butter. That's that counter play. I mean, when they need a positive play, they run it.
All right, big third down, 3rd and 5. Rush is coming. Flag on the play. There's a pass. Wide open is Williams. And he's run out of bounds at the 45-yard line. 2 flags on the play.
3 flags on the play.
3 flags on the play.
Yeah, it looks like it should be illegal hands to the face. Should be 1 against the Skyhawks because number 97 for the Tigers was running around with no helmet, which may be a penalty as well. Then I'm trying to see what the other penalty be.
Well,
we'll just wait and see.
I heard you say 3. I don't see but 2 flags.
Yeah, there's 1 up there.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so.
All right, replaying the down.
Yes, that was a pass interference on the Skyhawks, and then a unsportsmanlike penalty on number 97 for the Tigers. He kept playing when his helmet was knocked off, and, of course, that's a penalty. That's
right, and actually the reason they want you to stop playing, and that's Justin Culpepper, is so you don't get injured.
Correct. That's a safety penalty.
It is. All right, they're going to replay the 3rd and 5. Back to pass. Oh, he's going to keep it and get the first down. He's got a lot of field ahead of him, and he's going down right across the 50-yard line. And it's hard to plan for something that you didn't know was going to be happening, and that's a quarterback change at the end of this ball game or in the second half, a freshman who can beat you with his legs. 20 yards on the carry, first down. And that's the bigger Williams. And he spins his way up close to the first down mark. Pickup of 9 on the play.
Yeah, Backus has come in midway in the 3rd quarter and has changed the whole dynamic of this football game. He's brought in a new spirit. He's dropped a 79-yard touchdown pass. He just ran for 30-plus yards on the 3rd and 5. He's the difference in the ball game right now for the Skyhawks.
He definitely is. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Or 2 yards to go. Backus back to pass is complete. And it's going to be a first down. On the reception, number 1, Moore. And it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. That's the TSU 37.
Yeah, the Skyhawk offense has found some momentum, and you can just equate that to Backus the third. He's come in and made a difference, and see if the Tiger defense can hold.
Backus back to pass. Got time. He's looking upfield, and it's incomplete. Intended for Moore. He had split the coverage. He was double covered, but that would have had to been a perfect pass to get in there to him.
Well, I just found out why Backus the third is in the game.
Why is that?
Did you see that throw?
Yes, I did.
I mean, he zinged that ball down the field. I mean, he's not short of any arm, and the future looks bright in Martin, Tennessee, if this guy's going to be the quarterback for the next 3 to 4 years. My goodness, what a throw.
Well, he's got 4 of it. Well, let's keep it. Galloway on the carry. Tigers still playing tough against the run. And Galloway trying the outside. Picked up a few yards on the play. Let's give him 4. It's going to be 3rd and 6. It's a big third down play for both the defense and UT Martin.
Yeah, that was Martin's bread and butter play. That counter play, they've run it about 20 times today, and they get positive yards every time.
He's going to keep it, and
he's beyond the line of scrimmage.
He was
too.
beyond the line of scrimmage, and they did not call
Yeah, he was a good yard, and it's not the NFL where a piece of your body needs to still be on the line of scrimmage. The college rule is much different.
Wait a minute now. If you're beyond the line of scrimmage and toss it forward, that's a fumble, isn't it?
Well, no. If you toss it forward, it's an incomplete pass, but it should be a penalty.
Oh, that's right. It's the quarterback.
Yeah, for doing that. So,
wow. Well, I guess Coach Reed's not arguing, so I guess maybe.
Well, it was a bang-bang play.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a bang-bang play. Yeah. So you had to have a vantage point. We're sitting up pretty high, and we got, monitors and everything up here. So, we're kind of seeing things a little bit better. But nevertheless, he looked like he could have ran that ball and
it really did.
And got first down. He would have had a blocker. But now this is an important stage of the game.
All right.
4th down.
John Backus has come into this ball game. He's 4 of 9 for 95 yards and a touchdown. And when Hudson left, he was 15 of 25 for 118 yards. So the change has been made, but the difference is that all these yards are in the second half.
Yes.
And it's compacted into the second half. And the receiver, Jalen Moore, woke up, especially after the 75-yard touchdown pass, and he's pushing 100 yards. He's 6 yards away from a 100-yard game. And Galloway also, they're utilizing him as a receiver more in the second half. He's caught 5 passes for 25 yards, and his longest being 8 yards. And so they're starting to spread it around now as a team. UT Martin has 213 yards in the air to the Tigers 9-1.
Yeah, well, when you have third-string quarterbacks in, we talked about how it was going to be important for the battle of the line of scrimmage, and both defenses have, controlled the line of scrimmage and not allow for the run games for the others to flourish. So, UT Martin is just throwing the governor off and throwing the ball and trying to make a play.
All right, it's going to be 4th down. They're going for it. Of course they are. Backus looking it over. He's back to pass. He's throwing it upfield. Has a man wide open, and Moore scores. I've never seen so many defenders falling on the ground at the end of these plays.
Well, that's one of my favorite plays. I call it 3 verticals, and basically they rid of trips to the strong side and ran 3 verticals and exposed that safety with the underneath coverage, and he couldn't stay over the top. And that's a touchdown for the UT Martin Skyhawks. I mean, John Backus III. I mean, he's come over and came in and taken over the game.
All right, Backus on the field now, and I am certain that this is going to be a 2-point effort. And so, again, Backus makes the catch, and we're looking on the monitor now, and defender just basically falls down.
Yep, the most important play of the game right here.
All right, 2-point attempt here. In motion, Backus gets a snap. He's got time, but nobody to throw it to. He's going to take it and try to score, and he fumbled.
He fumbled that ball forward. They're calling it a touchdown, they're calling it the 2-point conversion, but he looked like he fumbled that ball into the end zone, which we know is a failed completion, failed conversion.
Well, again, you don't see any arguments from the TSU sideline.
Well,
so
the referees are discussing it right now. I mean, I saw it from here. He looked like he lost control of that ball on the 1-yard line, and that ball went through the end zone. And if that's the case, that's a no good. That is a no good.
Well, it doesn't look like anybody.
Here we go. We have a replay right here for it. Let's have a look.
Well, we're having a look, but the officials are not. And the quarterback Backus is.
Yeah, no, that looks good.
Okay.
That looks good.
All right.
That's a good play.
So we had the instant replay up here in our box, and we saw it, and it's touchdown. So with 9 minutes, 54 seconds remaining in this ball game, we got a tie game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, we knew it would be this, Howard. We talked about it. You looked at the team stats. They were very similar. Both teams scoring 29 points a game. Both teams giving up over 30-plus points a game. Both defense have not been good this year. So now you got a tight ball game for the Sergeant York, Bragging Rights in Middle Tennessee, West Tennessee. And this is what you want to see on a Saturday like this. You want to see a good football game.
There's a kickoff, and it's going to be a short one. He didn't call for a fair catch. So the Tigers will take it on around the 28-yard line. So I guess there was a 3-yard advantage for not calling fair catch.
Yeah, he wanted the excitement and the thrill, Howard.
I think the coach is probably going to tell him don't do that again.
Well, that's the running back McCauley. So,
Yep.
I mean, he's used to handling the ball. You'll be really afraid if it was, a defensive end or somebody like that that's used to not touching the ball. So.
That's true. All right, Tennessee State University in a battle here. Ball at the 30-yard line, and that's the UT Martin 30-yard line, and we're tied. We have seen this all day. Tackle on the play, number 92, Joseph Murray. I just have a feeling, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I just have a feeling that quarterback Cameron Rosenthal doesn't have any wheels, right?
No, he was known as the pocket passer.
Yeah.
So if he's scrambling around, that's not what you want. And that's a pass interference right there, and they're not going to call it. Wow, he got there real early. Wow.
All right, this is a big third down play for the Tigers. Ball at the 28-yard line. This is not a time you want to hand it back over to UT Martin.
Yeah, you really have to question the coaching staff of the Tigers on the offensive side of the ball and wonder why would they try to come out and throw the ball 3 times in a row when you had the quarterback who's been struggling. You look like you would want to run the football a little bit because he's doing nothing but running himself as well.
Well, there's Rowland on the reception and a first down for the Big Blue. So I guess thank goodness for that pass.
Yeah, he bought himself some time, but right now they don't need to have Rosendahl sitting back trying to throw the ball a bunch of times. They need to get a running game back going and try to control the clock because right now John Backus the third is on fire. We don't want to see him on the field any longer.
17 yards on the play, on the last pass play. And that's a pickup of a couple yards. Injury on the field. Another UT Martin player down. Looking at the overall stats, UT Martin with 304 yards, total yards, Tennessee State 198.
Yeah, majority of those yards for the Skyhawks have been in the second half. They were pretty much shut down. Only had 3 points, and that was towards the end of the first half. But ever since they inserted John Backus III, the offense has had a 79-yard touchdown pass. They had another long sustained drive of over 60-plus yards for a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So, he's the difference in the game right now.
And Backus with 127 yards in the air. 5 of 10, 427 yards. They have 245 yards in the air, opposed to Tennessee State's 109. And with rushing yards, they're at 59, TSU at 89. So the game has actually turned in the second half, and UT Martin is now the aggressor.
Yeah, well, we saw it. We saw it happening before in the third quarter. They came out of the locker room, and they was a different team on offense. They started throwing deep balls. They started getting their bread and butter play, which is the counter. They started running play action off that counter play. They are trying to win this football game. with a third-string quarterback, and there you have a momentum right now.
All right, second down, 8 yards to go. Rosenthal, back pass, he's rolling, he throws, it's complete to Newbold. Could be a first down, but there's a flag on the play. We have to see where that flag is. It's in the middle field. We'll have to wait and see what the indication is. All right. First down for TSU by way of penalty.
Yeah, that's a big call right there. That's the big guys in the interior line. There was a 15-yard penalty, hands to the face, or illegal hand to the face, is going to be added to the end of that catch. And so now the Tigers are in the Skyhawks 30-yard line, and they have some momentum here. It looks like they're trying to answer the score from the Skyhawks.
And this is different. The Skyhawks penalized 8 times for 65 yards, TSU 7 for 45. So TSU is usually the one with the most. There's a pass, and it's complete. Johnson on the reception, and touchdown Big Blue. Is that Johnson?
Yep, that's Johnson.
Oh, he's running kind of strange.
Well, guess what, Howard? I'm gonna look at this play again, but I think I just saw 3 verticals again.
You saw what?
3 verticals again. I mean, that's the answer play that the UT Martin, and let's look at it.
Let's look at it.
Let's look at what we have. We got 1 vertical, we got 2 vertical, and then that guy crossing again. That is 3 verticals. That's a play that was ran by the UT Martin Skyhawks for a touchdown, and Tigers answered with the same formation and the same play.
All right, Zeta could make it a 7-point game, but there are flags on the play. And the Tigers are going to have to back it up 5 yards. Wow.
Yeah, that's a delay of game. That's strange on the extra point to get a delay of game. But there was a lot of celebration going on the sideline for the Tigers.
Yes, it was. And that's game management. Hey, you still got 7 minutes left in this game, and the way he's up. And it's good with the way UT Martin is cranking it up there. I don't know. It's a little early to start celebrating.
Yeah, but I guess Devon Johnson being a senior on senior day, that's his second touchdown catch of the day. He's going out with a bang.
He is. All right, Devon Johnson with the reception, but what about Rosenthal throwing that ball back to his backside? I mean, he's a right-hand passer, but he had to kind of contort himself to get that ball back across. And so Tennessee State University has gone up by a score of 24-18 with 7:33 remaining in this ball game. You have been watching OVC Football on ESPN3. Exciting 7 minutes and 33 seconds as Tennessee State University knotted up just a few minutes ago, now leads by 7 points, 25-18, and the Tigers will be kicking it off to a dangerous returner, but again, not going to give them the chance. They're just not going to give it. That's like in baseball, a walk. You just keep it away from him. Bo is not going to be the guy to beat you in a game like this.
Yeah, well, let's see what the Skyhawks have in store. They've scored in the last 2 drives, and the freshman quarterback out of Pulaski, Giles County, has really turned this game around for them, and let's see if he keeps the momentum going.
All right, it's going to be first down and 10 at the Skyhawk 38. This guy, John Backus, in the ball game. Good defensive effort by the Big Blue Tigers. And Tigers all over the place.
Yeah, in the backfield first was Khalil Jones, number 90, the sophomore out of Nashville Stratford High School. He got off the ball and disrupted the pocket right away for Backus the third, and that caused a negative play for the Skyhawks on first down.
Also, Dale Porter in on the play. It's going to be a big loss. All the way back to the 32-yard line. Timeout being called by UT Martin.
You know, I keep looking over, and the Aristocrat band have split up.
Yes.
To on both sides, the home and visiting side. And so they're pretty much playing nonstop now. And I thought that the referee was getting ready to say something because they're cranking up pretty good right now, and I know that's a distraction for the Skyhawks offense.
Yes, they are. And as a matter of fact, it's been a tradition. I've been around Tennessee State only about 67 years, and isn't that something? I would love to say that a few of those years was before birth, but no. About 6-7 years, and they've been doing it ever since I can remember. On the last home game, the seniors sit on one side of the stadium. Doesn't matter whether it's 10 of them or it's 50 of them. They get on one side, the senior majorettes get on one side, and all the underclass persons get on the other side, and they're kind of battling each other the whole second half. All right, second down. 16 yards to go. Back to pass. He throws, and it's complete to Williams, and Williams is wrestled down. Great defensive effort by Vincent Sellers. And Sellers is, I think he's still reeling from that touchdown pass thrown over him, and you'll probably see some big plays by him.
Yeah, the Tigers defense has come out and said, well, you see you have a big arm. We're going to fall back and let you have the underneath throws, and they're determined not to let him hit on another big play.
All right, loss of 2. Backus back to pass. And it's caught. Oh, my goodness. Amazing. Boy, oh, boy. That's Moore that caught that pass, and he just out-jumped and out-fought Nesbitt.
Yeah, he just took the ball from Nesbitt. You were being nice.
All right.
He just took it from him. He jumped over the top and just took it from him because Nesbitt just knew he had that ball intercepted. And once again, Backus throws the big ball.
And that was just a bad pass by Backus, bad read, and almost could have been picked off by the Tigers. That ball we're at the 34-yard line. That was a 34-yard pass play by UT Martin. Well, that's 29-yard line, so that was more like a 39-yard pass by UT Martin. And Backus can throw the football.
He can sling it. There's
ball
no
at the 29-yard line, second down, as time continues to roll. Receiver out there by himself, and good open field tackle by Nesbitt. And that's Galloway. You know, when you can pull Galloway down in open field like that you've done a good job.
Yep, that's this Backus doing a great job as a freshman, reading the defense on. He was in zone coverage. He's taking what the Tigers are giving him, and he's in control of this offense right now. And,
all right. Well, this is a big 3rd and 5 for UT Martin. It's probably 2 down territory, but still a big 3rd down play. Backus. He's got his lane, and he tosses it forward, and he's got a first down.
Yeah, that's his second attempt at tossing that ball forward. That one connected to his tight end, number 83, Chance Key. They're from Brilliant, Tennessee, the junior, and that's a first down for the UT Martin Skyhawks.
All right, first down, UT Martin, as they're threatening to score now inside the red zone. Ball on the 14. Good defensive effort by TSU. Just crashing in there, number 45, Dale Porter. And the Tigers make a big stop.
Well, that's the senior out of Memphis, Tennessee. He was responsible earlier for a tackle for loss for a safety. And once again, he was in the backfield wreaking havoc on the UT Martin backfield. And that's a loss on the play.
Loss of 3 on the play. Backus back pass. He throws, and he has Galloway again. And Galloway gets out of the grab of Nesbitt and moves that ball down close to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that's just a guy trying to make a play. You know, Galloway's from Indianola, Mississippi, and we hadn't talked about Mississippi in the second half. That kid's from the Delta. You got to do more than just grab a shoestring.
Yep.
And, he broke loose and made a positive play, making it a third and manageable.
All right, third down. 7 yards to go for first down. Backus back pass again. And good open field tackle. Great open field tackle by Tennessee State's Vincent Sellers. And that was a dangerous receiver in Peyton Logan. It's a big fourth down play. 4th and 8 or 7. And they are going for it. They are going for it. This is big boy football.
Well, if you're the Skyhawks, your guy has to be number 1 because he's brought you to the promised land.
Big boy football right here. The freshman Backus back to pass. Rushes on, and they got him. Wow. Dante Ferguson Jr., red shirt junior from Lithonia, Georgia, on the sack.
Yeah, that's a big play for the junior. He just switched over to defensive end this year, and he kind of took him a little time to learn this position, but at the most critical time, he used his speed rush and got around the right tackle for the Skyhawks and made a game-saving play as of right now. The Tigers' defense, they bend but didn't break, and that's first down TSU Tigers. Now it's game management.
It is game management.
It's game management now.
And the Tigers can't just sit down and sit back and try to let the clock move. It only moves a second at a time.
Well,
they have to play football.
One first down ends it because UT Martin only has one timeout left.
All right, ball on the 22. And looks like UT Martin, I thought they called timeout. They had not. So a pickup of 1 yard on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 9. And Tigers taking their time.
And they should.
The play clock has 24 seconds left on it.
They should. They should milk it because what UT Martin is doing now is making sure you stay disciplined and not use their last time out, seeing if you're going to have game management enough and discipline enough to win this ball game because you should be 2 snaps away from winning it. Let's see what the Tigers do.
Wow. That was big guy was shot out of a cannon on that one. Big 97. Julian Crutchfield just burst through there and almost stopped that play in the backfield. Good job by the Tigers, especially Sean McCauley, just staying on his feet, keeping it churning.
Yep. So look what UT Martin is doing. I mean, this is why Coach Simpson has been around for 13 years and has a successful program. He understands clock management,
and he hadn't used that timeout either.
And there goes the timeout.
And there goes the timeout right there, tackle in the backfield.
Yeah, so, I mean, that gives them – I mean, he played his hand perfect. I mean, You know, he's been in Martin, Tennessee for 13 years, has a winning record. He understood exactly what he had to do with one timeout left. He played it by the numbers. He gets the ball back with a little bit under a minute left, and you best believe they're going to go after this punt because that freshman kicker takes a little time to punt that ball sometimes.
Well, James Galen on that play, another great linebacker play, this time by UT Martin. And the linebackers have been playing ball on both sides.
Well, the linebackers from UT Martin were as good as advertised, right? That's what we heard. You know, one had 70-plus tackles, the other one had 80-plus tackles, and, you know, they pretty much built their defense to feature those two guys, Prater and Galen, and they've been as good as advertised. They've been awesome today.
All right, I have to do a shout-out right now. Can I do that?
Yes, let's do a shout-out.
All right, there's a player on UT Martin's team. I should have been calling his name. He's got about 4 or 5 tackles, and it's Porter Streeter, I guess, the third. And he lives right up the street from him. Known him ever since he was born.
Oh, wow.
He plays safety for UT Martin, and I don't know why I hadn't called those tackles yet, but I just want to call his name. Good kid. Tennessee State might not want him to be too good right now.
Well, I mean, look at that. What we do? He calls a fair catch. He's managing the clock, right? He has worked this. When I say he, Coach Jason Simpson has worked that clock to the best of his ability to give his team
a chance to win.
One more chance.
That's right.
That's what he was just trying to get. One more chance.
One more chance.
And that's an excellent job by the 13-year coach, Coach Jason Simpson.
All right, so here the Tigers are on defense. Let's see if they can keep them out of the end zone. Let's see if UT Martin can get in there. This is what football's all about. Back to pass. Tigers have him on the run. And it's incomplete. And that's one way to keep Backus from killing you with his arm, and that's keep him running.
Well, right now the Tigers are getting something that they hadn't gotten all year, which is a pass rush.
Yep.
I mean, interior lineman, Khalil Jones, Culpepper. I mean, they got pressure off the edge with Ferguson Jr. This has been absent from the Tigers all year.
Yep. All right, second down, 10 yards to go, 38 seconds remaining in this game, and it's turned into a pretty exciting game thanks to the second half. Back to pass. And he's got field in front of him. He's got a lot of field in front of him. He's going to finally slide down around the 44-yard line.
You're going to kill the clock now. You got to kill the clock. You got to kill the clock. And they're in the kill formation.
And they just did.
I mean, this is just game management 101.
I think the official – okay, no, they don't have any more timeouts, right?
No, they have no more timeouts.
Right, well,
that's why they had to hurry up and
it
clock
looked like the official was trying to give him a timeout, but no, he was just ruling the ball down. And yeah. All righty, 27 seconds left, and let's see if the young man Backus.
And that's a delay of game. That's a delay of game, and they don't see it. The clock is dead, and it was dead for 3 or 4 seconds, and they almost got away with it. That was a delay of game.
Wow.
UT Martin was just not aware of the play clock. I mean, that clock stayed 0 for at least 2 to 3 seconds, and I was surprised how casual they were between plays just because they killed it. It was nothing but 25 seconds going to go on the play clock. They seemed like they thought 40 were going up. So that's a mistake, you know, for the Skyhawks.
All right, that pushes them back 5 yards. 2nd and 15. Backus again on the run. Don't hit him. All righty, he's out of bounds.
Yeah,
I saw 20 coming. I wasn't cheering for anybody. Those kind of hits sometimes end people's careers.
Right.
Yeah. But Tennessee State did a fine job of pulling up. Shakir Jackson was coming hard.
Well, they got 5 yards on that play, but
Yes,
Backus is a freshman, understanding game management, didn't try to get too much more and just tried to get out of bounds.
Right.
That was very important for him to do that.
All right, he's got 20 seconds to start his legend going. And he's running and looking upfield. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown, UT Martin. Oh, my goodness.
What about the awareness of the freshman quarterback? I mean, he danced that line of scrimmage. I mean, he danced it the whole time waiting for that crosser to come across the field in that post corner. And once again, the mental mistakes from the Tigers have hurt him because there's no way that should allow that man to get that deep and across the field with two safeties in the middle of the field. That's an unfortunate play, but big time by Backus the third.
Devontae Howard on the reception.
Hey, and looks like Coach Reed may be trying to review it to see if the quarterback was across the line of scrimmage. I thought he danced it. I mean, he kind of knew that he was close, and he kind of straightened up a little bit so he wouldn't keep going down the field. Let's see if they can review that.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
And it doesn't look like they can. I thought it was a fantastic play by the freshman. Wow. I mean, with the moxie on that. I mean, he danced down that line of scrimmage the whole time, just trying to give himself a chance down the field, and he makes the big throw.
Cut right with a big kick right now. Kick is up. And this game is tied. 10 seconds remaining in this ball game, and we've got a tie here. Wow.
Well, we talked about it. Hey, you give all the kudos to Coach Jason Simpson. He out-game planned the Tigers the last 2 minutes of the game, and that's why this game is tied. He had one timeout, Howard.
He did.
He had one timeout, and he orchestrated where his team had a chance when they shouldn't have had a chance. There should have been no more chances. One timeout and one first down ends the game. And he managed it perfectly. He held his timeout, to the last play for the Tigers. He kept 47 seconds on the clock, and they go.
Well, let me ask you something. You're a receiver. You're an offensive guy, but, you know defense. You don't get beat deep with seconds left in the ball game, right?
Yeah, it's a horrible mental mistake, but that's plagued the Tigers all year.
Yeah.
I mean, self-inflicted wounds. I mean, let's just be honest here. I mean, the team should be able to score with 46 seconds left on how long was the play? 40 plus?
Almost 40 yards.
Yeah, 40-yard touchdown play. I mean, that doesn't happen. It shouldn't happen, but it did. So, but kudos to the Seahawks. I mean, to the Skyhawks. I mean, that game management at the end of the game was phenomenal, and that's why they got a chance to score, and they did.
Kind of playing like the Seahawks now.
Well, I tell you what, Backus has come in and played like Russell Wilson.
All right, they're going to give him a chance to bring it out. And there goes Johnson, and he's on the move. It's Johnson still on his feet, midfield, finally run out of bounds.
There's a flag.
And flag on the play.
There's a flag. Look like we're going to overtime. Howard, how you like that?
Last game of the season? Let's do this.
I mean, we missed 2 games this year. I mean, we can get a little overtime play, right?
Well, I guess you can. Yep, little overtime. I'm sorry, Janine. I'm missing your wedding. I love you. Walter, my buddy, I'm sorry I'm not at your daughter's wedding. Love you, too. And everything's going to be okay. Because she's still getting married.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still going to have a wedding. All right, it's going to be a repeat. Offsetting penalties.
Now, if I'm UT Martin, they got a little jazzy. I mean, because you know what happened last week up in Murray, Kentucky, right?
No.
Okay, well, we had Jacksonville State here last week.
Right.
And they won the OVC championship because Southeast Missouri lost on the last play
they did.
On a kickoff return. And so I was surprised to see UT Martin kick that ball off like that. I mean, there's no need for that because Devon Johnson can run.
Okay, so they're not re-kicking it. They're just getting their play. And there he is, Porter Streeter, right in the middle of the field, number 3. Safety, I have to say it. I know his dad is here, but I don't want to have to go home tonight and say I didn't call his name. and I missed his tackles and all those things. All righty, 2 seconds remaining in this regulation ball game, and Tigers going to take a knee and go to overtime. All righty. We've got overtime coming up. This is our first overtime.
Yep. First time
of the season.
Of the season.
25-25 is the score. And both of these teams' season is really resting on how this game turns out. And, of course, the Sergeant York Trophy is resting on the balance right now because it could either go to UT Martin or it can stay with Austin Peay and be all 3 teams. Fans will be back in just a moment. You're watching OVC Football on ESPN+. All right, fans, we're back and in Nashville, Tennessee, and we've got an overtime. Both teams are tied at 25, and they're explaining the overtime rules now, which are a little different than what we've been used to, so explain it to us.
Yeah, so it's alternate possession, right? So everybody gets a chance in the first period to score starting at the 25-yard line. If a team scores a field goal or a touchdown, whoever gets the ball next has to match that. And, of course, if they don't, that's the end of it. But if they do, they go to the second overtime, and they alternate possessions, all right? And then when you get past the third overtime, you no longer can kick an extra point. You have to go for 2. So you've seen some big some 5 and 6 overtime games
right.
that end up being in the 60s and 70s or 50s and 60s because, you know, you have to start going for 2. And that's how that overtime goes.
So they don't cap it. You don't have a certain number of bites at the apple. You just keep going.
You keep going. You keep. Oh,
now,
and
if
there's
you
no
don't
time
score,
on the clock.
But what if nobody scores on the first 2 possessions?
Guess what? You're in second overtime.
So the game cannot end on a tie.
No.
All right.
No. You go on the second overtime. The Tigers won the toss. And, of course, they put their defense on the field because they want to know if they need a touchdown on the field goal when they get the ball next.
I got you. All right. Okay, here we go, fans. The young quarterback who's brought UT Martin all the way back to a tie ball game is in there now. And there's Galloway on the carry, and he gets a hard lick, which knocks him out of bounds. And I'll tell you what,
Shakur Jackson,
man, he's 5'9", 170 pounds, but he's a fireball.
Man, I'm telling you, I saw that play. They've been running that play all game long. That was their counter play. They motioned out, and we rolled to, Tennessee State rolled to a zone, and Shakur Jackson came off the hash with like a heat-seeking
Look like Blaine Bishop out there. All right, 2nd down and 8. There's a pass, and it's complete for a first down.
At this point now, the Skyhawks are picking on our best corner. I'm picking on the Tigers' best corner, Desjour Nesbitt. I mean, they've gone exclusively to the right side, and Desjour is going to have to step up and make a play here.
More on the reception. Here's a handoff, and he's crossed the 5, down close to that end zone. And they are quickly knocking at Paydirt's door.
Yep, exclusively going to the right side, the left side of the Tigers' defense.
2 yards away. And stops short of the touchdown.
And more importantly, the first down. So that's going to bring 3rd and 1. They might have lost some yards on that play. And
Ty Brown, they're back on the 3-yard line now. 3rd and 1, yes. So he didn't make the first down. This is a big play.
And they're lined up heavy to the right side. And where'd they go? They went to the right side, and there was no luck over there. Now, this is a big call for Scott Simpson. I mean, he has to kick 3, right? He has to get those points. Yes, he has to get those points, and the kicking team is coming out.
Jeremy Patterson on the stop, 6'3", 350. And, buddy, he grabbed the quarterback by his jersey and just pulled him down. All right, this is a big kick for a cut right. 20-yard field goal attempt from the right hash marks. Good snap, a little high, but he gets it off.
Oh.
And he hits the uprights and goes in.
Okay. Yeah, that ball trajectory definitely changed and hit the inside of the right goalpost and goes in. So we're still in the first overtime. So now the Tigers have to match that 3 or they can end it all with a touchdown. But they got to score points here.
Okay. And they're going to stay on the same end of the field?
Same end of the field.
Okay. All right. Hey, this is new to a lot of people because not that many overtimes in football anyway, and the new rules, they are new. They're brand new. And so here we go. Tennessee State has this opportunity.
Yeah, so this is the second game for UT Martin. In overtime, they played Eastern Illinois to a 24-21 loss on October the 20th. So UT Martin knows the rules of this, and let's see what they do here on defense to keep the Tigers off the scoreboard.
All right, Rosenthal, quarterback. Big game for him. He throws. It's complete. And it looks like number 88, Josh Trueheart. 6'5", 235-pound redshirt freshman, tight end on the reception.
Yeah, but Trueheart is in because Cavett got hurt earlier. And so now they have the redshirt freshman out of Stratford High School in at the tight end position.
All right, pickup of 11 yards on the play. It's going to be first down for the Big Blue. Reinhardt keeps it. Rosenthal, correction.
Right. I mean, this has to be fun for the guys, right?
It does.
I mean, this guy hadn't played in 2+ years. He's been a game manager today. Hadn't made any big mistakes, and he has a chance to win with his first start in overtime in the hole.
Yeah, really, with both quarterbacks on both teams, it's a special time for them right now.
That's correct.
Special moment. All right, 2nd and 8. Rosenthal back to pass. He's got field in front of him, and he throws, and it's caught. Johnson on the reception and close to the first down marker.
Well, what a game for the senior. I mean, he's had a remarkable game. He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. He has 2 touchdowns today, and they're looking to see. It looked like the guy's waving for a first down.
Yeah, they were getting ready to move the state. They are? Well, no.
They haven't moved it yet. Well, they don't have to move it. They just have to put the one down.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay.
So it's first and goal from the 4.
First and goal for the Big Blue.
This has been a struggle area for the Tigers. And let's see what they do here for the championship or for the game or the York Championship.
Rosenthal throws. Touchdown, Tennessee State. The Tigers win it. Johnson on the touchdown. Could a senior go out any better?
Well,
Devon Johnson.
There's a bunch of stories here. First of all, let's talk about the Skyhawks. I mean, they came out the second half and really put a number on the TSU Tigers when it came to changing their game plan, their philosophy. They came out and changed quarterbacks. They stopped trying to be conservative, and they made it a ball game. But let's also talk about TSU. I mean, first game starter. Gentleman Kramer Rosendahl, who was a plumber last year this time, gets a chance to start the last game. Devon Johnson, what his family's gone through, with the loss of his brother a couple of years back, his twin brother, and him having a chance to end his career in the hole with a 3-touchdown performance. I mean, what can you say? What a season.
Wow.
What a season.
That's what I say.
How to end it?
I mean, come on, man. I've been watching games in this hole all my life. and nothing's any bigger than what I just saw today. Tigers won't go to the playoffs. They have a losing season, but to see the Big Blue and to see them be able to, the seniors, to be able to go out, and this is not downplaying UT Martin, because UT Martin played a heck of a ball game. But Tennessee State has had dynamics in their season that nobody can match. With the two games that were canceled for weather, a player that almost died who's fighting back, players on the field right now who have lost their parents, grandparents within this season, the pressure on Coach Reed. Come on. This is not a good place for him right now. Not TSU, but I'm just saying in his career, because decisions are going to have to be made.
Yep.
And that's just not a secret. But for them to come out like this and to be able to pull this game off and to be able to do it in this manner, that's why we love the game.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and if UT Martin had won, we could have given a storyline on them. Maybe not the same storyline, but just as exciting.
Yep, well, most definitely. Then you talk about the injuries and then having a third-string quarterback in the game. And, what you saw from the Tigers today was just pure, just a will to win. A will to win.
I don't know what's going on over there, but the TSU players, I guess they're going to the band, but what I see is UT Martin and TSU all together out there.
Oh, yeah.
After a hard-fought ball game, just out there together. And they are going over to the band. I think what they got is, I guess the seniors didn't go over to one side, and I think everybody's going over to the alma mater. But, I don't know. This is great. This is great. This is great. This is just what it's all about. I'm sorry that UT Martin had to feel the sting of the loss, but even with them, these guys can at least end their season with a great ball game because they gave it all they had. And that young man that came in this game, John Bacchus the third, that's their future.
The future looks
bright. That's their future.
That's
their future.
That kid can play.
Yep. I didn't know he was over there. I didn't know that he was in the chamber, so to speak. But they pulled the trigger, and there he came. And so this is a kid that we're probably going to be watching for the next 3 years that's going to make a mark. UT Martin and Tennessee State won't have to worry about preparing for him because they'll know he's coming. Again, fans, Tennessee State pulls it off in overtime, 31-28, and defeat UT Martin, who has nothing to be ashamed of. And so many of these guys are from the Nashville area playing for UT Martin. They got to play in front of their friends and all. And so there we go. But it was a great ball game. And, as we look at the fourth quarter, the final stats, well, as we were looking at the final stats, UT Martin with 428 yards, TSU 259. Passing yards, UT Martin 354, TSU 170. But it took that kind of offense for UT Martin to be in the game in the second half. Tennessee State did most of their work early on and got it done. Again, with a third-string quarterback that hasn't played hardly any this year. Penalties, something that hadn't happened, I don't know, in the whole season. UT Martin penalized 11 times for 100 yards. Tennessee State 9 times for 60 yards. And the game turned into big plays as the average completion yards, UT Martin 12, TSU 11. And just trying to look at things that just make the difference in the game. UT Martin made up on possession time, 27 minutes to TSU's 32. So, but the fumbles on the side of TSU, but TSU didn't lose a fumble this game. And so, lower in penalties, no losses or fumbles, no interceptions, minimal turnovers, a victory.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's that's just basic football, Howard. We know how to, successful teams do successful things. They don't beat themselves. They don't turn the ball over. They don't have penalties. Now, we say minimal penalties. We still had 9.
Yeah, and it's 60 yards.
Right. So,
yeah.
But, that means that was a bunch of pre-snap penalties when, 9 for 60. That means those are, concentration, false starts, illegal formation, things of that nature, mental penalties, not action penalties. So, things like that you have to clean up. But nevertheless, it was big for the Tennessee State program to try to get this victory today. The bad taste in their mouths last week, what happened with Jacksonville State, where they just completely shot themselves in the foot the whole game and just basically handed the game over to Jacksonville State and pretty much the OVC championship as well. But, this is what you want to see. You want the kids to come out and play hard. It looked like the underclassmen came out and played hard for the seniors to send them out with a win. And that was just a valiant effort to try to win it. And they won it. That was a
The Skyhawks in their season 2-9 on the season. Tennessee State ends their season 4-5. And again, you can't speak to how difficult it is to not be able to play 2 games back to back because of the weather. But this is it for both teams. Tigers 3-4 in the OVC, and the Skyhawks 2-6 in the OVC. So neither teams wanted their seasons to turn this way, but that's the way it has turned. And it's been fun broadcasting with you. We've been together for 2 years now, and hopefully I'll be around, and I know you'll be around.
Well, as much as you swim, I think you are fine. I need to get out there and work out with you. You have the fountain of youth, so I think we're gonna be A-OK.
Well, fans, it has been fun, and it's been fun being on ESPN Plus. This is our first time being on ESPN Plus. It's different. It requires a lot. Fortunately, we don't have to do the lot that's required. But having been a former athletics director here at Tennessee State and been in the OVC ever since Tennessee State went into the OVC, having been around it, having the opportunity to broadcast on ESPN Plus and the requirements that are needed, cameras and production. I mean, it's a welcome challenge for all the OVC schools, and we're going to get better at it every year, and hopefully give you as great a quality broadcast as possible every time the OVC comes on ESPN Plus, whether it's here at TSU or wherever within the conference. So now they'll turn to basketball. I guess it'll still be some football being played, but TSU and the Skyhawks are done for the season.
Yep. So I'm out of